All right, we'll get started a little bit. I don't know how today's going to go. We'll see. We're going to do maybe a little something different, maybe. I don't know. You guys have lots of choices. So I'll do a recap as usual and kind of catch everyone up where we are at the present. So in the beginning of last session, Master Emilio had been drugged and captured by Ephraim, and he was carried out of the Witch and Familiar by an ogre named Murmur, wrapped up in a carpet. And the ogre takes him somewhere and puts him in a cellar and makes a deal with Master Emilio to take out Ephraim and perhaps end both of their suffering, and leaves him in the dark, releasing his bonds a little bit so Master Emilio could get free. Laris, an Ordo armorer, had a confrontation with Big Basher over his work, and ultimately Laris declines Big Basher's offer to come work for him.
It was a demand.
It was a demand. But Laris wants to make a name of his own. He gets a note via Goblin Messenger, which is very common at Thistle Hold, that Master Emilio has returned from Davokar and had some interesting artifacts and awaits him in the Witch and Familiar. So Laris, picks up his kit and makes his way to the Witch and Familiar. Bo, Liro, Lena, and Degoy had a meeting with Meyer and Nightpitch and discussed the success of returning the Copper Crown to the ruins and the resting place of the ancient Symbaroum king, Hirian Lo Opak. They learned of trouble along the forest edge at the new tower construction related to probably a entity they've met called the Winter Wife, a thing that they eventually had to flee from and they couldn't overcome. And then they return to the Witch and Familiar and meet Laris and find that Master Emilio has gone missing and is likely in danger. The company, what happens is Degoy and Lena give chase to Ephraim, who they also meet in the Witch and Familiar, as he tries to escape the hostel unnoticed, and the whole company gives chase after Degoy and Lena, and they're eventually ambushed in the streets of Thistle Hold by men in the streets and archers on the rooftop, and Ephraim escapes. Master Emilio defeats a returning Ephraim and eventually comes to an agreement with the ogre Murmur, and they join the companies that are fighting out in the streets against the ambush, and eventually the company succeeds, even though Lyra is almost lost, and Laris is found to be an expert at playing dead. The company learned that Master Emilio and Bo have done something in Blackmoor and have a writ of death or vengeance on their heads issued by the blood rogues of Blackmoor, and that's the ambushing party and presumably who Ephraim worked when he kidnapped Master Emilio. The blood robes are in some fashion an additional police force alongside Baron Erebus's eldest son, Corrado Erebus, whom occupies the keep in Blackmoor, if it can be really called that such. And that's where we kind of ended it last session, in this kind of house that they were talking over the lone blood robe left over, who they eventually stuffed back down in the cellar that Master Emilio was found in. Anyone have any other additions? No.
Nope.
So what we'll do is probably play like a week, like you spend a week in Thistle Hold and some things are going to happen and there's going to be choices you guys make. And the fight in the streets doesn't go really unnoticed. Most of the company is known and it's kind of hard to keep quiet. And eventually you're questioned by Captain Marvallo of the town guard, who Bo and Lyra may know pretty well. He doesn't really get into detail about the ambush, although it's, there's bodies everywhere. You did have some archers seemingly escape along the rooftops when things went south for the ambushers. Bo and Lyra may, Master Marvello the most. what would you tell him about the ambush? Would you tell him about the blood robes and Master Emilio's abduction? Or how would you explain it to the town guard's captain? Or how would the group explain it to the town guard's captain?
I think for this instance, probably start off explaining that Ephraim was a weird, creepy little shit that followed us through Davakar, and then abducted Master Emilio, and we were ambushed by ne'er-do-wells whilst trying to figure out why our stalker had Master Emilio's glasses.
Sure. That's how Degoy figured it out. Saw the glasses. Lear made you know that Laris or probably revived you as you were down in the streets. Do you say anything to Laris as you during that period of time where you're questioning the last blood robe?
Beyond thank you.
Sure.
He doesn't have a lot to. He doesn't have a lot to add. Larissa certainly did a very good job helping them out. I like to think that him playing dead next to Nero stopped either of them from being like stabbed to make sure that they were down. So yeah, good contribution.
Master Emilio and the guard captain Marvallo is questioning the group. Do you say anything about the blood robes, or how do you explain being abducted? And do you mention anything about the ogre Murmur who's disappeared?
No, Emilio will just say he doesn't know much. But as
Okay.
treasure hunters, they're always thieves.
Yeah, that would probably go like treasure.
Because they've been talking a lot about their artifacts and stuff. So we'll try to
So you pass it
leave it
off
there.
as treasure hunter groups disagreement.
Yeah. Say that they've had run-ins. He'll try to explain that they've had run-ins with rival and hostile treasure hunters in Davakar, which is true.
Yeah, that would definitely fly in a place like Thistle Hold. It's pretty common that treasure hunting groups come to blows in taverns and on the streets, and whether they're fighting over the same map or whether they're fighting over, things that happen in the forest, it's relatively reasonable. And Captain Marvello probably buys that pretty easy. He's not really questioning deep anyways. He knows Lirame and Bo, and it's more cursory, but that explanation, seemed to go a long way. Master Emilio. So what we're going to do is play, like a week of time in Thistle Hold, and there'll be some choices you all can make, after that time, where do some things with each character and then see as a group what you guys decide to do next. And so if you do have wounds or a need recovery, I would, look at your character sheet and at least plan that you've, recovered for those 7 days as we kind of go through these little vignettes with each one for that week. A question that for some of the group, do you still stay at the Witch and Familiar?
I imagine Lero's actually able to, at least for himself, either room with Father Savallo or in the guard barracks as a
Sure. So
honorary
you,
deputy of Captain Clay.
yeah, it could be the guard barracks still. I imagine you could weasel your way in and pay that, or with the missionary, Father Sarvallo, on a bench or floor. I'm sure he does allow some people to sleep there who work the kitchen. So that's relatively reasonable. Master Emilio, DeGoy, and Lena, Bo, do you all stay at the Witch and Familiar, or you have other digs that you stay at?
Yeah, well, Amelia will try after the abduction. He's a little bit nervous, so he's gonna try to find a room at the Ordo Tower.
Okay. He figures they know where he is. He is now, so he's going to find maybe more protective rooms.
Yeah, why stay in the same place?
Okay.
He's asking for it. So he'll also try to discuss the issue with Bo. Joe, you missed an interesting session last time.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, our friends from Blackmore, they found us.
Yeah, Bo.
No, they found you.
I found you. Bo wasn't here to suffer it, but
That's right.
Bo, where do you stay at Witch and Familiar, or you have other place?
I think I would try to see if Mayor Nightpitch has a location to offer.
Yeah, you're still kind of honorary guardsman.
Yeah.
You know, the barracks is probably still Bo's best bet. If you, I'm almost positive Captain Marvallo
Would allow that.
would allow it, especially if you just had a meeting with Mayor Nightpitch and are considering, his options. So that's pretty reasonable. How about Laris? Laris, where does Laris sleep, spend a night? He's just in the forge all the time, or?
Essentially, like he made an arrangement with the guy he's working for to like bunk somewhere, probably actually at the shop.
Yeah, it's it's winter, so it's.
Well, it's nice and toasty. He doesn't have a big commute,
Now, is he a workaholic? Is he at the forge, until he drops most days, or?
He gets very tunnel vision-y. So, if when he was learning about beast lore, he would bring books and he'd do some work and then he'd read for the rest of the day, and yeah, he'll go sometimes he'll miss a meal or three just working on whatever he's got going on.
Now, would he make anything specific in this week?
He will, but one of the things he'll do is he'll talk to the shop owner. He'll mention that he came across some weapons, and he'll offer to clean them up, make them prettier, fix any errors, and then if the shop owner wants to sell them, he just wants whatever
Sure.
Whatever a reasonable split would be, like 50-50 or something like that, because he
Consignment.
doesn't
Put him on consignment.
he doesn't want to have to sell them himself.
Okay.
He feels, I'll give you, you give me some money for these and you take whatever profit you can get. So he'll come up with whatever arrangement seems reasonable to both. So he'll clean up some of the pieces, but he'll work on something new, because he's just recently kind of figured out the really good blacksmithing. So he's really into doing more stuff with it. So he'll probably work on. His suit of armor is actually just a blacksmithing apron, which is good for blacksmithing, but not so good for going out and getting ambushed by fucking dead-eye archers. So he's gonna take one of the suits that you guys picked up, and he's gonna start weaving a second link of chains in all the chains, and eventually make double chainmail out of it. And if he's got time, he'll work on a new project, because that's what he does. But Yeah, he'll definitely clean up some of the stuff that we collected from the ambush people. His intent is to make a deal with the shop owner, sell them, and then split some of the money up with the people. Maybe take a little bit off to pay for the elixir of life that somebody used
Sure.
on somebody. Not going to name names.
I think a 50-50
Also,
split would be fine with the shop owner, the
Right.
forge owner. He's still
He
trying to
will
keep
also-
you.
Yeah, no, I know. I'll also I'll keep some of the shields because they're the steel shields. So I'll keep them as I'll eventually start adding powers to those and give them to the shop owner as part of our arrangement. But I also buy an elixir of life eventually to replace the one I used on whoever it was that I
Nero.
used it on.
Yeah.
It was on Nero me.
Okay.
Or May, okay.
Lennon DeGoy. Where does Lennon and Goy sleep and spend time during the week? They still there?
Oh, we definitely stay at the Witch and Familiar because that's where all the fun is. That's where the happening is. That's where the rumors are. I mean, it's rowdy, it's loud. I don't know what everybody's so scared of.
Yeah, Bo and Master Emilio are maybe a little bit dicey because they're worried about the blood robes, but Lennon and DeGoy aren't necessarily known by the blood robes. I don't expect the escaping archers to necessarily point them out or know their names. So you two stay at the Witch and Familiar then.
Yep, and to save money, DeGoy offers to bunk with Lena.
Len, are you having
There's
any
no
of that?
There's no reason to spend that much money.
I see DeGoy sleeping on the floor a lot then.
Often with a bruised rib cage.
Maybe he needs to make a resolute check.
Maybe
Better on the
outside the
floor.
room.
Yeah, better on the floor near the goddess than, in another room.
All right. Well, Lennon, DeGoy, at some point during the week, a messenger comes, a goblin messenger, because it is Thistle Hold, and this tiny male goblin kind of just sneaks in, and you see him at the long bar in the Witch and Familiar on the first floor, and he pops up off his stool and nods at the owner, and he hands you a note, DeGoy. He doesn't even ask for money though, which is kind of odd, and he nods his head at you and leaves the Witch and Familiar. DeGoy, you open the note, and it just has the stamp of the Queen on it. And DeGoy knows he's been summoned to the Queen's Legate in Thistle Hold.
Oh, here we go with this guy again. I quickly tossed a note into the fire and tell Lena to, be careful, stay out of trouble, and I'll be back later.
You're not going to take Lena with you? You think you're safe on your own?
I mean, even if I was to get in trouble, what would be the first thing Lena do? She would just run, so...
I think when she's ever left you, it was for good reason. The guy got himself into trouble, couldn't get himself out, and Lena was like, "Hey, he's got to learn somehow." I'm gonna actually use a Thistle Hold map. Go ahead.
She said, I don't care what you say, I'm going with you. I was like, okay.
Right. So you go to the Queen's Legate, which is, you gotta remember where it is exactly.
Was it 1?
Yeah, I think it's 29.
29? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, 29. That's where it's right across from Nighthome, the Queen's Legate. And as you're going to the Queen's Legate, DeGoy and Lena, you kind of arrive at the front door to the Queen's legate, and two young people are leaving. Male and female. They're kind of dressed scandalously. It's early morning, or late morning. They look really sleepy, and they're tucking in a really large pouch of what looks like money, deep into their clothes, and they just kind of look at you and nod as they come out. And as you look at them, the goy, one of them says, "Look, we've enough sport for one night and enough pay. We need no more work for this week." And the other one kind of laughs. "A few more of those times and we won't need work all winter." The goy and Lena, you're standing by the front door of the Queen's Legate. What do you do?
Oh, I totally ignore them.
Okay, just head right in.
These youngsters, they know not what they talk about.
All right. They're
Right,
coming
yeah.
out of the Queen's Legate, and you just kind of go in. You see the kind of same thin man behind a counter shuffling, papers, and he kind of looks up and goes, "Ah, you again. Why are you here? You have money this time."
Well, maybe. Depends on if you have anything good. Last time your stuff didn't work out for me so well.
You probably just didn't search hard enough. You wish to peruse the paperwork again?
No, not at this time. I was summoned here by letter.
Oh, let me see the letter.
You don't know? Well, I guess you're not part of the know. And I'll just kind of stride by him.
You're gonna walk in through the main hallway down the hall.
Right, where's the meeting place?
Yeah, he almost falls off his chair as he's trying to get. He's a thin young man. He's got no weapons. He's wearing nice clothes. And sir, stop! And he starts yelling at you down the long hall. There's just a single door that's partially open, and he kind of is yelling behind you as you're striding in down the hall. The goy, telling you not to disturb the Lord Argana.
Pay him no heed, and maybe even a half turn towards him, putting up the shh finger. This is a place of business. No need to yell. As I continue walking.
All right, you go through the door at the end of the hall.
I do.
Yeah, so at this kind of long hardwood desk, a woman is looking down, shuffling through a ream of papers. She's obviously very well dressed and a noble. You know that she's the Lady Surya Argana, and she doesn't even look up as you kind of bolster through her front door. And she just says that she's going through this paperwork. "You've been paid enough to keep my father's secrets. You're getting no more. Be gone." And she just kind of waves at you.
There's obviously a chair in front of her desk, right?
No.
No. Oh, that's great, because I wasn't going to sit in it. I was going to actually sit on her desk.
All right. So you go sit on her desk.
So I go, to the edge of the desk, and I kind of half lean on sit on the desk, and I just kind of look down at what she's doing and go, "I don't know who you were expecting, but that's not me. But if you would like to pay me to keep your father's secrets, I'm more than willing to accept your coinage. In the name of the Queen, of course."
Lena, as the goy is doing these goy things, does Lena do anything to stop the mischief?
No, I'll just follow along with him.
All right. The goy, you kind of sit on her desk, and Surya Argana is using a dagger to open up letters and is obviously reading. And she just kind of looks up at you. She's look a little bit disheveled, a little bit tired. And she realizes that you're not who she thought you were, coming in to ask for more money to keep her father's secrets. And she doesn't even pause. She just kind of looks at you and she goes, "Name."
Dagoy.
"Ah, the Queen's man, then."
Aye.
Ah.
You summoned me here.
Yes, I have. It's been said you traveled in a certain company.
That is true.
Well, this particular company may be asked to handle a certain issue regarding a tower.
Are you referring to the Witch Tower?
Oh, yes, or something like that. Winter Witch
Yeah.
or something. Anyways,
Yeah.
the Queen's interest is that the mayor lose more face over the matter. Enough so that he calls the Queen for a regiment to deal with the issue. She kind of lays out a fat purse on her desk. You know, she opens the door and pulls out a purse and blink, drops this kind of fat purse in front of you.
I see. Is this open or discreet?
You just steer the company away from him. Are the orders of the
Understand.
Queen understood?
Understood.
Okay. Does the Goy do anything else aside from take the purse of money?
So very quickly, I kind of want to like look down at the paperwork she's looking at and scan if there's anything quite handily that I could pocket.
You want to steal something while she's looking at you?
Well, she's looking at me, right? When I go to pick up the bag of whatever it is, the coinage, you know, I just kind of want to like see if I could tuck in a little shard of paper that might be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be really hard. But you could make it discreet at -5. Maybe she's captivated by you.
As all women are.
Yeah, you go to
I have one experience that I'm gonna try to use on this.
Okay. You really want to steal.
It might be interesting. I have no idea, but the goal is that person. Of course not.
Right.
As with the last time I tried to pickpocket something, the goal gets in trouble.
Yeah, she just kind of points her dagger at you and says, Queensman DeGoy, that piece of paper is not yours. Place it back on the desk.
I am totally sorry, lady. I meant to pick it up just the bag, but fingers, they sometimes grab more things than they should.
Yeah, she just waves you away with her dagger. You know, like, you have your orders now.
Indeed.
If you cannot persuade them to seek their riches elsewhere, then at least they can fail on the way.
Understood.
Okay.
The Queen's will be done.
In the pouch you find 19 thaler for your orders. Do you do anything else before leaving the Queen's Legate?
No. As we're leaving, I kind of turn to the young, secretary and just give him like a, hey, what's up?
He probably was standing there by the door the whole time, and he ushers you out, kind of looks over his shoulder and closes the lady's door, and moves you out, gives you this terrible look. He obviously listened to the whole thing, or eavesdropped on your way out as you leave. Bo, what would Bo do during this week?
He has an item that he probably would try to sell.
Which item is that?
A hammer.
Oh, you're going to try to sell the hammer. Okay. And where are you going to...
Or exchange it. Didn't I sell an item?
You did. You sold the black sword.
Yep.
Right. And you sold it at the rope and axe to Milena. which is right here by the Queen Square. So you're going to sell the hammer.
Anybody use a hammer? It's a war hammer.
Maybe Tristan. Laris.
He does use a hammer. He's not very good with it, but he does use a hammer.
It's a big hammer.
Yeah, it's a artifact hammer.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Laris has expressed interest in studying our artifacts and exchanging his blacksmithing service for them, so like maybe you let him study it during the week before selling it.
Sure. What I will do is drop the hammer on Laris's. So he has a copy. Yeah, so he has a copy of it.
Yep.
Laris. So I just dropped the Soul Eater Warhammer on your character sheet, just so you
I see
could.
it.
Yeah, you could take a look at it. Bo, maybe while you are taking the Soul Eater hammer to Laris or going to his shop to give the Ordo blacksmith the hammer, you're traveling through Antique Square. You know, you need to go north up the promenade towards, Yonetter's Way, because that's where Laris's blacksmithing shop is, or blacksmithing shop is working. As you're moving through the crowd, and there's not that much crowd because it's winter and kind of cold, you are grabbed by a somewhat drunk noble. He kind of grabs you and he goes, Bo, there you are. Come man. Have a drink with an old comrade. Kind of loops his arm into you and, is leaning up against you.
Somebody I recognize.
Yeah, it's Lord Mindol. The Lord you traveled with in the mountains when you were charged to safekeep the Ordo man Bartolomeo.
Yeah, the kind of like the caravan.
Yeah, the caravan. The guy that you hooked up with at the very beginning. He came to Thistle Hold to spend his wealth, and he kind of looks at you and he goes, come on, have a drink with a man to share old times. Oop.
Well, let's go first. Take care of my business, then we can go drink.
Yeah, you got business? I got a business too. I got a house also. A house and a business. Always looking for good men and women. You looking for a job? He's got you arm in arm as you're kind of walking down the promenade, and then, you take a left on Yonetter's Way. He stumbles a little bit. Whew. I got to stop drinking so early in the morning. You got a business, Bo. What kind of business you got? He kind of looks at the hammer. Where'd you get that thing?
Just out in Davokar.
You have your own group then, I would imagine. Captain.
We do.
Oh. Well, my business is a new business. And I'm trying to weasel in. Well, I'm trying to establish a good business of treasure hunters. Maybe you can work for me.
So it's not thriving?
Well, it's just starting. I just got a house, Bo. It hasn't been that long. Give a man a break. Lord to lord, noble to noble. Imagine if you could get a hammer like that, you could work for me. Like, look, the city administration is looking for some, like they already sent 2 groups of, I don't know what it is, some tower out there. You could, I could hook you up with that. Like, make you some coin that way. Or,
What
you
tower would that be?
I don't know. It's up some new tower they're building. Some winter lady or something like that. Some witch or something that's taken over this tower that they're building to watch Davokar. Have you heard about it? They're having trouble finding groups just because 2 other groups went out there and didn't come back. But maybe it's too hard, even with a hammer like that. I got, he kind of looks around. I got a contact for some other business. I don't know what it is. But she's off during the sun. I can get you in touch with her. Or maybe I can get you in with the city administration for this tower business. What do you say?
Maybe get me in touch with her. How about that?
All right. Well, I put some feelers out then. Kind of slaps you on the back a little bit too hard. Almost knocks himself over as you make it to the forge to hand over, the hammer to Laris. You say anything else to him, Bo?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Okay. Give me a.
Hold on, wait. I actually look at you and go, "Who are you?"
Right. Bo, why don't you describe your character for Laris and that you weren't here last time? I'll throw a picture of him.
Yeah.
Bo was there, but he was faded into the background.
Okay, so like in theory, I have actually met him. He just as a player. Okay, then never mind. I wouldn't have said that. I'll just look at him. I'll nod when he hands the hammer over, and I'll say, "Do you have a request?"
No request. Out of game, Gene. I probably would have, if I knew him better. I probably would have just given him the hammer.
Yeah, you were there last session. I just didn't necessarily run you. Bo, there's a picture of Bo. And he, along with Master Emilio, were the ones that the Blood Robes were trying to abduct or kill. Or, he's one of the second half of Master Emilio to the debt of vengeance. Yeah, debt of vengeance for whatever they've done. Bo, did you tell anyone what you and Master Emilio did in Blackmore?
I didn't discuss it with anyone.
Okay, so you do know him, Lars. He's probably bringing the hammer for you to check out. It was perhaps agreed upon.
When he hands me the hammer, I have to do quick recalculation of how much money everybody gets, but I give him 11 thaler. Let's see if I got this right. Just give me a moment. 11 thaler, 8 shillings, and 3 ortegs.
You can keep the shillings and the ortegs.
Okay.
Because Bo is flush.
I don't know why, but if he wants me to keep him, I'll keep him. I don't care.
All right.
I will look over his gear. What kind of gear do you have?
Fencing sword, a pretty unique shield. Gene, can you put that up, maybe?
Yeah, I can put a picture of it.
Light armor.
I can do something with that, and I'll point to his sword. I'll even point to the shield. I'll point to the armor.
Bo has a small round shield that has kind of a scalloped edge to it, and it has a unique kind of L handle. And if you've ever seen Bo use it, he actually can throw it, and it returns to him. It's called Girakosh's Steel Shield, or Steel Circle, really. It's smaller than kind of the average shield, and he actually can throw it like a ranged weapon. I would expect that Laris would spot it immediately based on, what it looks like, and would realize that Bo is carrying an artifact and a kind of special shield that he can use as a ranged weapon that, returns to his hand.
I point to his shield and I'm like, there's not much I can do to make that better than it is, but I can, I could do something with this other shit you got. I mean, it's serviceable enough, and these swords are actually not half bad, but I could make it better.
Better's always good.
All right.
Well, that's the deal. I get to study the artifacts. You guys get better shit. I don't know if I have time to do it yet because I've got a couple other projects I'm working on, but I'll get to it. I'll I'll let you know when I have time so that you're not without it when I'm not working on it.
All right, that sounds reasonable.
Now, if Laris ever has time to study Bo's shield, Girokosha's shield is somewhat out of his ability at the moment. But there could be time. You could learn something from it eventually. Master Emilio, you're at the Ordo. And you have this little knock on your door. Master. Master, are you awake? Master.
Go away, I'm busy.
But Master. Master.
Yes.
Master Marleme would like to see you, Master.
So Emilio frowns inwardly and gets dressed and shuffles his way out. He puts on his best robe.
Yeah, you open the door to your little cubicle room. It's a very tiny room, just enough for a bed and maybe a desk. And, the tower doesn't have that much room. And there's maybe a boy of about 12, not an initiate, but someone trying to study to become part of the order. And he kind of looks at you and says, "Do you know the way? Or do you need me to take you?"
Lead the way.
Okay. He kind of looks you up and down because at 12, he's taller than you are. All right. Oh, well, let me know if I'm going too fast. He
Carry on.
starts walking and he keeps looking up. You keeping up, Master? And he slows down a little bit as he realizes maybe you're old and you're awful small. And he comes to a much more ornate door and he kind of knocks on the door and then kind of peeks in. He goes, Master Marlowe, I've retrieved Master Emilio for you. And you kind of hear this gruff voice, and the boy opens the door and kind of stands to the side. And you see Master Marleme sitting behind his desk, and he kind of just waves you in. Come, Master Emilio.
Emilio nods to the novice, and he shuffles into the room.
Why is he shuffling? Just because he's short, or is he tired, or his gown is too long?
No, it's just the way he walks.
Sure. Now, Master Marleme is far younger than you are, Master Emilio. He kind of looks you up and down, and he goes, "I see you're alive, then."
Yes, I'm alive.
And how many of the others? Just you, then, that made it out?
No, we've all made it out.
Oh. Well, all good. He says there's like this kind of glint in his eyes. Thistle Hold always needs good men and women. Perhaps the mayor will convince them to handle this tower business or whatever it is.
Tower business? What is this?
I don't know. Some sort of barbarian witch has taken over part of the forest or something of that nature. It's below the order to look into it yet. And we're not really fond of the mayor as it is. And so until he comes groveling, we're going to wait it out.
I see.
But did I hear it right that you were somehow endangered within the walls of Thistle Hold? That is terrible.
Yes, some brigands attacked us.
Brigands attacked you? I heard you were kidnapped by an ogre.
Well, yes, that's true too. We have a lot of valuable items. Emilio is trying to bluff his way here.
Right. Why don't you roll a persuasive test at -2?
I was afraid he'd say that. Oh my god.
By one success. He kind of looks at you and, Master Emilio, at first he's inclined to disbelieve. And then well, that's not never mind. It is glad to have you back, Master Emilio.
I'm glad to be back.
Well, I just wanted to check in. what are your plans now? Stay in Thistle Hold and study?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Do you know where your compatriots might be staying?
Who knows what they do? They have minds of their own.
Oh, so you've lost contact with them then after
I
this?
guess so.
Well, maybe
They're an
we.
independent. They're an independent sort.
All right. Maybe we can find something for a master of your quality here at the tower to do then. I will.
Emilio nods.
Yeah. Does he say anything else?
Nope. He just keep to himself.
Yeah, Master Marleme just kind of looks at you and says, "Well, I imagine both of us masters have work to do. It's good that you returned alive."
So Emilio nods and just excuses himself.
Okay. What would Master Emilio do during this week?
During this week, he's gonna try to do some more research about the forest, about the ongoings of Thistle Hold.
Okay.
Try to figure out what's interesting here.
Anything?
Maybe learn some skills.
All right.
Try to go through the records at the Ordo and see if you can learn something interesting about Devakar.
Anything specific you're looking for?
Oh, just stuff that he doesn't already know. Just old information about old Symbar.
Okay.
He's bound to he's bound to come across something he doesn't know. Since this is so close to the forest.
Roll a cunning roll for me. All right.
Oh man.
Yeah, you find a lot of minutia, but maybe your search is narrow enough. You read a lot about the Davakar and Symbaroum nation and barbarians and ruins and some of the Ordo expeditions, that sort of thing, but nothing specific, at least that's usable at the moment that you could tell. Lyra May, you're staying at the mission, Father Sarvalo's mission. Do you work the tables and the soup kitchen all week?
He'll do some work helping out, but he was also going to hopefully spend a bit of time in the main temple to Prios.
The church, the main church.
Yeah.
Okay.
In sort of seminary lessons and things like that.
Okay. Well, let's do the mission first, and then we'll do the temple. You're probably working the temple or you're working the kitchen or at some point, and you see Father Sarvalo he looks distracted, like he's kind of staring off in space, and it kind of strikes Lyra May as odd, perhaps, and he hasn't, Father Sarvalo is kind of standing there at a table, and he's got a cleaning rod in his hand, but he's not really moving, and he's just kind of staring over into this corner, and you kind of look at him, and it's odd for him to be in that kind of mien, and you follow his eyes, and you see this curious little boy, working the table that you've seen before. You actually met him in Davakar first while he was doing something, fishing of some nature, and then you met him on the street saying that he was, come to meet his father. And Savarlo kind of sees you looking at him, Lyra May. He kind of shrugs and he goes, "Curious boy, isn't he? Lyra May, have you met him yet?"
I think I've seen him around a few too many times for it to be usual.
He just kind of Father Savarlo just kind of scratches his head and goes, "Yeah, he just arrived this week."
Did he say what he was here for?
Oh, well, nothing. Lear May, do you remember what Aliuin said to you in the street?
Lorkind doesn't.
Yeah. Lear May met him in the street, and he said he was come to see his father, and that his father was
Oh, yeah.
Sarvallo, right?
Yeah, I will definitely tell Zavallo that.
Yeah, you tell him that you saw him in the street. He was come to see his father, and that his father is Sarvallo himself.
Yeah, that, and also like for some random reason we saw him. I first saw him in Symbar, in Dabakar,
Yes.
and then I don't know how he got to Thistle Hold, but he said he was here looking for his father and gave your name.
Yeah, Father Sarvallo, like his eyes kind of shift from you, Laramade, to the boy, and back to you, and back to the boy, and he goes, "Maybe he is telling you the truth." Then he says under his breath, like he's not really saying that to Laramade, and something like that. Maybe it is true, or that's where he goes. But then he kind of shakes his head and goes, anyways, I don't mean to bother you, Laramade, but I heard you were attacked on the streets. Is that true? That you were almost lost to the light of Prios.
Yeah, well, I don't think
You truly lost. I like to believe that even should my time in Cambria end, I could continue to serve Prios beyond. But yes, we were. One of my traveling companions in the forest. You know the auto mage that? Well, an auto mage that Mayor Nightpitch put us in contact with.
Yes, those Ordo.
Very, very weird fellow. Very, very weird. Nasty habit of getting people killed.
Well, come now, Laramade. Perhaps it's time to put down your sword and join us at the missionary. There's better things to seek than blood and glory and treasure and death. Come make a better world with me. Put down your sword. We have work to do. Look at all this work. His eyes kind of slide over Aluin. He shakes his head a little bit. Are you ready?
Well, there is always work to do, but someone has to. Words. This mission is a noble venture, helping lift up those harmed by the darkness beyond Prios's reach. But some of us, whilst I will always be willing to lend my hand here, someone must also work to bring the light of Prios to those not fortunate enough to be within his grasp yet.
He just kind of listens to you for a minute. Well, you should make that decision anyways, Lirame, but I understand. Are you off to the temple?
I was hoping to continue my studies. I feel I've gotten stronger in faith and wish to learn more of the theurgic arts.
He goes, okay. Well, we're almost done here. Here, you can go, Lirame. When you go to the Church of Prios, Lirame, what do you take with you?
Beyond his usual traveling around the city gear.
Which is what?
I mean, given he got jumped, he's not leaving the sword behind.
Okay.
And
All right. So you go to the Church of Prios. You need to make a discreet roll, Lirame. All right.
Yeah, we'll let it stand.
You go through it's mid-morning. It's well past sunlight prayer, and noon prayer hasn't come, and sunset prayer is, ways off. There's maybe some milling around and there are some people on their knees praying before this huge kind of stained glass window of Prios that's set in the eastern wall, and lights kind of shining in through it. There's little alcoves with iconography of Prios around. What would Lyra May do in the main hall of the church?
In the main hall, he would go through the usual like practices of visiting, not a visiting priest, but like a visiting acolyte, and
Stations of Prios.
yeah, so like giving his praise and leaving a donation.
Yeah,
Put 5 shillings in like a donation box. And
lighting
then,
a candle.
Yeah, and offering prayers, and then he'll try and go. I am assuming that there is some sort of library.
Yeah, you don't really
use
get
by-
that far, Lyra May. You're
Oh dear.
you're putting some money in a box, and maybe you're lighting a little votive candle, and
Mhm.
whatever. You kind of stand up. Maybe there's like a little kneeling place where you do some prayers of Prios and put in your, shillings or thaler and light your votive candle. And you kind of stand up and you turn around and you run smack dab into a Templar. Big, huge guy. He's dressed out in, fine kit, and his armor is shining, and he just kind of looks down at you and he says, "Changeling, you must leave, and you must do so now."
May I know how I have wronged?
Prios doesn't want your kind in here. This is not a place for your folk. Thing of the forest. And he doesn't really take his eyes off you. He's probably like a head taller than you. He's just kind of looking down. He's got one hand on his sword, got his helmet on.
I mean, Lyra agrees with the concept, so he will dejectedly lie. He's certainly not going to fight a Templar
In the church.
I mean, it would be out of character for him to
Right.
fight anyone
In the temple. Yeah,
in the
these
temple,
are
yeah.
these are, there's Templars that are doing rounds, their rounds too. And there's some regular Templar guards for the place, obviously. If Lero, follows orders and leaves, he just follows behind you about 5 steps, Lyra May, as you walk out of the Prios's hall out back into the sunlight. You can just hear him kind of clanking behind you. Does Lyra May do anything else as he leaves the church?
Small talk is like the wrong term to use to describe it, but because he does agree with the Templars' stance, he will ask if there is like even a dejected, miserable creature such as himself. Is there a way he can continue to serve Prios's will? Like, is there anything that he can do to?
He just wrinkles his nose as you get to the edge of, the archway leading out, and he just looks at you and goes, "Maybe that heretic Savala will take you in, but this is no place for you."
Ouch.
You do anything else, Lear May?
Theo Savallo has knowledge of the Theurgy rituals.
Sure. I imagine if you tuck tail and go back to the mission, Sarvallo is a suitable surrogate, or because he obviously is steeped in Theos's rituals, and I imagine whatever Lyra May would like to learn, Sarvallo would be reasonably enough to, instruct them on those rituals as a tutor, or that sort of thing. Kindred spirit. So a question for the group: how would you guys re-meet? Like, is there a plan that you would come together, or is it just a haphazard thing?
I think we would meet back at the inn, wouldn't we?
Yeah, like
yeah, have an
you-
arrangement time to meet back at the end.
Okay.
yeah, definitely reconvene. Like Lero would have, in downtime, wanted to chat with Bo, ask about the red cloaks,
Sure.
and also just
Blood
visit
robes.
Laris's blood robes.
Yeah,
Visit Laris in the shop, his blacksmithing shop, to see about gear.
Okay. So the three options I see the group could discuss, when you come together as a group, is you have this thing with the tower and the Winter Wife. Some of you know the Winter Wife, some of you don't. Mayor Nightpitch has, eventually probably sends a message to Bo or Lyra May or through Captain Marvallo, and he's in a crux. He can't find any groups to go sort this out, and he sends them a message that essentially asking if they will undertake that duty for Thistle Hold again, and offers each member 60 thaler. And then there's the issue with the blood robes, and Master Emilio and Bo still have this writ of vengeance, or death upon their heads. And then there's Bo's Lord Mindol, who has this contact for a job. Those are kind of the three things I see you could potentially talk about and decide what you'd like to pursue. Anyone have any questions about that?
I would definitely talk to Master Emilio first before I talk to anybody else about the cloaks.
Okay. So,
See what he thinks we should share, because
right. Maybe
you know,
that Master Emilio has to leave the tower eventually. Darn Ordo. And
yeah,
and Bo is, kind of hanging around waiting for Master
I
Emilio.
might be waiting in the shadow and then
Right.
jump out of the shadow and say, "Hey,
What does that conversation go like, Bo and Master Emilio? What happens? Well, what does Bo say first as he jumps out in the shadows?
seems we're in a bit of a pickle, wouldn't you say?"
Yes, we are. You have any ideas?
Do you think we should come clean with the rest of the group?
Might as well.
Shit. Well, then we'll meet back at the inn, and I think we'll discuss our options, including that option.
Okay.
And I don't know we could take on the whole gang. Like, Gene, do we have any clue?
Yeah, so the blood robes, Master Emilio and Bo would probably tell the group that they went to Blackmore because Master Emilio was heard of some artifacts he can buy on the sly, and Bo is going to look for stuff, and they get in this altercation with blood robes who are prowling the center. Now, the blood robes are like a secondary police force, self-appointed.
Yeah.
And the Baron's eldest son, Coraldo, is known to kind of be like a lounger or kind of a lazy man who collects his taxes from the shops around the main square in Blackmore, and seems to have a poor reputation. The Baron's eldest son, Corrado, does have his own force, but the Blood Robes are this secondary, self-appointed kind of police of Blackmore that Master Emilio and Bo, no fault of their own.
Well, maybe some fault.
Maybe some fault, get into an altercation, and people die during those things, and then they essentially ran out. Really, Bo ran, and Master Emilio had to like run and hide and crawl and hide, and they both make it out of Blackmore with them on their tail and make it back to Thistle Hold. That's what happened. And so the Blood Robes are kind of this military force that has a quarters there. They're not necessarily appointed by the Baron themselves. They've just kind of taken over control parts of, like almost gangland, right?
Right, and we know them to police as they see fit, right? Not necessarily following
Right.
rules, right?
Well, they do follow some rules. So the Blood Robes and the Baron's men keep people from camping outside the city also. Like they shake down, the Blood Robes shake down other parts of the city, whereas the Baron's eldest sons shake down the center part, really, the more established places.
Right.
So you come clean then.
I let Master Emilio explain it.
All right.
I kind of keep quiet when he explains the situation and why it was he was kidnapped.
Okay. So you all meet at the Witch and Familiar, as a company.
Yeah, Emilio will explain it and leave the parts of them stealing stuff out. Of ripping off Kodamar.
Right. You did steal from Kodamar and his huckery.
Well, Bo did, but we'll leave Emilio will leave all of that out. All those unnecessary details.
Okay. Anyone have questions for Bo and Master Emilio, or what do they think about the Blood Robes? Master Emilio and Bo, do you feel like you need to take action against the Blood Robes to protect yourself?
Well, there's not much they could do. Not much they could do at this point. I mean, it's an army of thugs, right? So.
Right, in Blackmore.
Yeah.
And
like
there's no reason. There's no reason to go there.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I think the rest of the group would agree. That's not an option. We can drop that as an option.
All right. And what about the Winter Wife or how would you share that, Bo?
I would talk to him about potential work. I haven't heard of this woman before, right?
Yeah, Lord Mindol actually didn't even give you her name.
Right. So I would just, because most of the party would know, my contact with him and interactions with him in the past. And would share that, there's work to be had, going through him.
Okay. DeGoy and Lena, do you all say anything?
I think DeGoy would be like, we don't need to mess with the Winter Wife. She is a being that we have all lost to before. Well, some of us have lost to before.
Mm.
However, these red cloaks, that seems kind of disconcerting to me. Even though you guys say it's not an issue. They're going to be dog handling our every step.
So what do you suggest?
I don't know. I mean, how can you fix the issue?
Well, we could kill him.
Okay, now you're going a little too far. You don't just go into an organization and just kill everybody.
How can a normal person resolve the situation?
Look, we can't pay them off.
Why can't you pay them off?
They don't seem like that sort.
Maybe
Okay.
you didn't offer
The
them
rank and
enough
file
money.
might not seem like that sort, but somebody is in control. That guy probably you could pay off.
Yeah, surely you can go to whoever's in charge and say you're sorry and make amends.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Doesn't matter.
So
If you pay enough money, he'll feel like you're sorry.
they are. So Emilio reminds them they are thugs. They don't. Sorry is not in their vocabulary.
Exactly. They are business people, right? They're only in it for money. So you offer them more money, like Leroy is saying. You find the person in charge. You'd be like, hey, look, let's make a deal. Boom, here's your money, and they leave you alone, right? It's typical, criminal organizational stuff.
So we need to at least find out who they are and who's in charge at least. But negotiations are not going to work. Emilio stresses.
No.
Oh yeah, but if you go to the guy who's in charge and negotiations don't work, you could always fall back on the kill 'em all portion of the game.
They're gonna want Emilio and Bo dead, basically, and then they might ask for more. Then they might ask for more stuff.
Right. Then they'd be like, okay, now pay us off to leave the rest of you alone.
They're thugs. They're thugs.
That rather sounds like you guys have set up quite the quandary, and the best solution is probably getting away from all this. Yeah, it doesn't sound like you can solve that, does it? Maybe
See if
some
we
time
can-
outside of the city,
Yeah.
dealing with some other concerns will give time for it to blow over.
You could probably get some help. So Emilio has been thinking about the ogre. Maybe we could get some help from the locals. Hire some muscle.
You want to hire muscle, but you want to pay off the people chasing you.
No, they won't be paid off. The thugs will only be satisfied with 2 heads on 2 stakes.
Well,
Maybe we fake
maybe the
your death.
suggestion of leaving town's not a bad idea. Let things blow over for a little bit. Buy yourself to some time. And-
This Thistle Hold is pretty secure, right? Thistle Hold is a pretty law and order type of settlement. So this is the safest.
I don't know. I
Emilio.
think the incident a week
Emilio,
ago
you just
would
got
suggest
kidnapped.
otherwise.
Yeah, you got abducted in Thistle Hold.
So you want to leave? You want to leave? And go where? Go
Leave.
back into the forest?
Leave long enough for things to blow over a little bit. Maybe it won't be as dangerous if they think you've fled, gone to ground, or died.
Maybe we could go hang out with the crypt walkers and the golden slippers.
No, I'm not getting near those slippers.
Those slippers are bad news.
So
All
are
right, the one place where they probably can't follow is the forest. So Amelia would suggest that just find a place in the forest.
Well, why don't I go back to my contact, or we can go as a group and find out, what potential business he has for us.
Speaking of business, I give everybody except for Bo 11 thaler, 8 shillings, and 3 ortegs.
I'll take the salad.
Put that in chat.
because they're
Cause I-
forget.
Yes, please.
You was just talking, Spanish to me for a second.
So Bo puts the option of seeing if there's work to get out of the city with his contact.
So Amelia will during the day he'll try to head out to the abomatorium and try to find Murmur. See if he can hire Murmur.
All right. Master
No.
Emilio.
It's not too far away.
No.
All right, it should be 8 shilling, not 3 shilling.
So you're gonna go find Murmur to maybe hire people.
Yeah, but he won't go alone. Emilio's not going to go alone.
Okay.
Bro,
Who
you
you
gotta like hire full-time bodyguards. Gene, I think DeGoy and Lena are gonna go to the market.
Okay.
As am I, and I will suggest if we are going to go on a job, maybe people should buy stuff that would make not dying more likely to occur.
All right.
So Emilio will try to accost Leo May so they could go to the abomatorium.
He doesn't want to go by himself. Lear May, you gonna go with the small master Emilio to the abomatorium to find this ogre, while the others go shopping and buying things to keep you alive in case bad things happen?
Warily.
Okay.
I have no idea what the short man wants,
All right.
and Emilio has a good habit of putting people in danger.
Okay. So Master Emilio and Lear May are going to the abomatorium, and the bow
he
is...
would let the other people in the party know that he is hoping, like he wants to get a buckler.
He wants to get a what?
A buckler? You know, the tiny one-hand shields.
Little shield. Buckler.
Oh, buckler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buckler, a shield.
Yeah, like a fancy
So
given.
in Symbaroum, a buckler acts like a shield, except you can't use shield fighter with it, and it can be used with a two-handed weapon or a ranged weapon or something that occupies your hands. Both of them, you still get the benefit of a 1 point of defense shield.
Okay. So Master Emilio and Lear May are going to the abomatorium to hunt down the ogre Murmur. Degoy, Lena, and Laris are going shopping so they have enough stuff to keep them alive. And Bo is going to hunt down Lord Mindol and get word to the contact, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So for Laris, Degoy, and Lena, you have plenty of Thaler, and most things are available. So if you all want to go on a shopping trip, then you could just spend that Thaler, whatever you would want to buy, because it's pretty well. It's winter, so stock is high. You know, it's not a hunting season, and so you should be able to find anything within the equipment manual that you would want to stock up with.
Is there anyone in the group who's good at negotiations, getting bargains?
Laris has a decent persuasive. It's not great, but
Maybe
Double
Laris
digit.
could buy stuff for us with try to get a discount.
Okay. Laris can roll persuasion then. Or see what
Okay.
percentage, or look at the percentage of change,
Right. Plus or minus.
right? Ooh, 5 degrees is 7 degrees. 5 degrees of success. So I would think you'd be able to find it. 5 is 5, 25 for 70% of market value, Laris.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I said 5% for 5, so I just made it a little bit more since Laris is a armor. So whatever you go shopping for, you can get for 70% of the market price.
That's. I'll take it. Emilio will take it.
Emilio wanted to learn from him.
Yeah,
So-
Emilio is just not good with people.
Emilio and Lear May, you go down Yonetter's Road and eventually run right into the abomatorium. Master Emilio, even before you can get into like the square, you hear the ogre Murmur's voice. Ah, little ogre! Little ogre! He's like standing on this this fountain near the abominatorium, and then he's got this big like ham leg in his hand, and he kind of waves it to you. Little ogre. He's eating his ham.
Murmur, so good to see you.
Ah, you too, little
Emilio-
ogre, and he pops his ham
Emilio
on top of
tries
your
to
head.
feign a smile. He tries to feign a smile.
Like
Not too well.
he hits you with the ham on top of your bald head. Ah, it's good to see you. You're alive. And he looks at Lirame and goes, this one was dead, and now it's alive. Did you do that, little ogre? Make this man alive?
My friend here has special skills.
Oh, yeah, we all have special skills. What are you about for today?
Emilio will make a proposition and try to contract Murmur as a guard of sorts.
Yes, little ogre, what would you like me to do? Are you going to fight with me in the abominatorium? I got a match
No,
next
not
week.
that. No, not that type of. We need you to protect me. I need you to protect me.
Oh,
You know.
yeah, you kind of need a lot of protecting. What am I supposed to do exactly?
Someone attacks, you kill him.
Oh, you want me to follow you around wherever you go? Where are you going?
We'll walk around, maybe the forest.
Whoa, Davakar then. Will I be back in time for next week's match? That's a lot of coin, little ogre.
You'll probably get more coin with us.
Yeah, but I'm much more likely to be dead too. Like this one was. I don't have special skills like this one. What happens if I'm
Really?
dead?
Then we all die. But there's a lot of risks and reward in the forest.
But there's no risk and reward in the abominatorium. Look at me.
Emilio starts to get annoyed and looks to Leome for some help.
Lirame is sort of laughing at the little ogre.
Why do you need me to protect you when you got this one?
I don't see why he needs me to protect him at all. He's very good at worming his way into other people's ears and making them kill themselves.
Yeah.
So Emilio will make a gesture. He offers as a sign of as gesture of as advance payment. He offers it the axe. If Murmur will join him.
He gives him the
that axe, that artifact. Only if
Well,
oh, the little throwing axe.
yes, only if he joins us.
Yeah. Murmur looks at it and goes, "It's so small.
Well, we got other
I
weapons.
had a big axe. That thing is like built for you, little ogre, not for me. Do you know how much I can make in the abominatorium for one match?
How much?
250 thaler.
Emilio kind of just starts to cough a little bit, clears his throat. That actually is a lot of money.
Much easier to survive there than Davakar. You go into Davakar, you don't often come out. How many times have you been in Davakar, little ogre?
We just got back.
Once. How much did you
and
make on
he's
Emilio-
your...
trying to hire new guards because most of the auto mages in there did not come out.
So
Well,
Emilio gets frustrated and sees if Murmur has any friends, strong friends who might be interested.
how much you willing to pay then for a week in Davakar? That's pretty. It's
How
pretty
much do they
dangerous.
How much do they want?
Probably 300 thaler.
300.
I would do it for 300 thaler, little ogre.
Emilio vaguely entertains just taking control of this ogre
In the middle of the street.
Ima-
by force.
Imagine how much he would charge if you weren't friendly.
All right, so Emilio kind of gives up and just kind of heads to the abominatorium and just looks and just kind of watches the fights for the day.
Yeah,
if there are any.
there's no fights for today. It's all closed up. They're once weekly. You miss the one as you're arriving into town, but
So Murmur must be a champion.
he shrugs his shoulders if you ask him. I'm pretty good.
Murmur,
But-
what do you want in life? Murmur, what do you want in life? A big, strong lad like you.
A ham leg and 200 thaler. Well, for
Ham
you,
leg
it's
and 200 thaler.
300 thalers for you because that's Davokar. So the Abomatorium is easier.
So Melio kind of frowns and says, well, I'll have to consider it. And he kind of just shrugs and just walks away.
Okay. He says, "Oh, I'm always here, little ogre. At least until next week. Well, I should be here after that, too. It can't be that hard next week, Matt. But you know where to find me. It was nice to see you."
Okay, he waves goodbye, forcibly smiles and walks away.
Lear May, you have nothing to add?
I'll let the ogre know that the matches aren't too hard, and
Yeah, he kind of looks at you and
look,
goes,
I'm fairly sure.
"Are you looking for a teammate? I could use a teammate. It doesn't look like you die easy."
I've done a stint in the ring before. I'm just letting you know the matches they're not quite so hard as people seem to think.
Oh, I know.
They're
I've been
fairly
to
easy.
5
Fairly
matches.
easy.
Well, if you need a
Nice.
partner, we could do it twosome.
Go. Do it.
But it was nice seeing you, no longer dead man.
Yes, and you, ogre.
Bo, so
And,
you go ahead, Learman.
There is going to walk back and be like, when did you think we had enough money to buy a arena fighter?
Well, I didn't think he would charge us that much. Talk about criminals, and I thought the red sashes were criminals. Guy's an extortionist. We'll have to
No.
make our way.
People can earn thousands in the arena.
Really? And you know this? You know this how?
First-hand experience. I have fought in the arena before.
Well, maybe you should give it a shot next week. I'll be cheering you along.
Matches are pre-arranged, so I think your friend, the big ogre, has next week fully in hand.
Well, there's nothing we could do now. We should get back with the others. See if Mr. Bo has any ideas.
So, Bo, you find Lord Mindol, probably at one of his various dives.
Watering hole.
Yeah, watering hole. And he kind of sees you and, raises his cup. "Ah, Bo, come, sit." Claps down. 4 more tankards. Are you interested in the job then?
We are. Maybe you can
Just-
share some more information.
Remind me, which ones did I offer you?
Something about woman contact that you have.
Oh, yeah, I can remember if it was the tower or that other thing. But yes, there's the woman contact, the pricey job. I have no idea what it is, Bo, but what she's offering must be dangerous.
Okay. Well, I'll
But-
find out.
If you want to meet her, I could let her know. Here's what I know is if you go to this bar called the Fern, it's in the Northwest District on Yonetter's Road and the Promenade. First thing in the morning. Tomorrow, she told me to send anyone who might be interested.
Okay.
But, I get 10%.
Well, we'll see what we find on this mission.
Oh, Bo, this is no fair. Treating one lord and another. He kind of puts down his tankard. Well, at least think of me kindly then. Or you owe me a debt and you do one of my jobs for free. Or, well, at least you agree to do one of my jobs if you do this other job and don't, pay a brother back.
Well, hopefully we find prosperity with this mission, and then I'll be able to give you your 10%.
All right, then. Well, it's always good to see you. You know where to come looking for a jobs.
I just hail them and leave.
All right.
Not even finish my drink.
That's okay. Lord Mindol will take care of it for you.
I'm sure he will.
The Goy, Lena, and Laris, what kind of things did you shop for and get to increase the party's chances of survival?
I bought a tiger animal mask for Ferris.
Yeah.
I bought some more paint to eventually be used on Ferris, and I bought another elixir of life because these people are going to get me killed.
Okay. Did someone buy the buckler for Learmay out of Learmay funds?
Oh, I
If you
didn't
get-
hear that.
Yeah, if he gave us money to buy the buckler, sure.
Sure. Okay. What would everyone have had Degoy, Lena, and Laris get as they went on their shopping spree?
He's gonna ask Alaris to pick up 4 elixirs of life.
All right.
Again, as long as they give me the money, I will do as they request.
4 elixirs of life. Is that just for you, Master Emilio?
Yeah, just for him, but it's probably gonna be for the group.
Okay.
If you ask me to buy just elixirs of life, I will point out that it's probably a good idea to buy at least 1 purple sap for every 2 or so elixirs, because sometimes they work so well that they give you permanent corruption.
I don't know what that is.
Elixirs of life, you take.
Oh,
Right,
the
temporary
corruption. Right.
you
right.
stuff for temporary corruption.
Right,
Every
they last a
turn.
d6 rounds, and you get 1 corruption for each round it lasts. And for each round it lasts, you get a d6 of healing. A purple sap the weak purple sap can remove 1d4 temporary corruption with a swig. There's others that do a better die type, but they're much more expensive. Like the base level purple sap's 4, medium does a d6, but it's also 8 valor.
Oh, I see. I found it.
Yeah. You gain corruption depending on the healing and
Right. For the elixir of life, its base value is 6 valor, and for a weak purple sap, which will get rid of probably the likelihood of you getting.
An elixir's base cost is 12.
Are you sure about that? I don't think
Elixir
so.
life is $6.
It's 6.
Yeah.
It's 6.
I'm looking at the APG. It's 12.
No, that might be a discontent because in the thing for the elixirs it says $6.
Is that the cost to make? Because the
That's
cost
the
to
cost.
make is.
It's a cost to buy.
That's the cost to buy.
Uh,
Are you sure you're not looking at a strong purple sap?
No, I'm looking
no,
at
it
the.
has it. It has it as 6
Oh.
for
Wow.
whatever reason.
Okay.
It's actually in the compendium. If you look in the under items
Yeah.
in Foundry.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking at the APG, and it does say 12. I think there's a version of that maybe in the core rulebook that says 6, because I have PDFs of the core and the advanced, and I've seen it listed for 6 before.
Yeah, that's
I just don't remember which.
That's what it has it in the VTT. It has it as 6. So we'll just go with 6.
Okay.
I think they may have
That
eroded
is
it, but-
better for us.
right? I don't know why they would have made that change, but
And I have them try to sell the feud crystal, Gene.
Okay, so
Oh,
if you
yeah,
look
the
in the
few
core
crystal.
rulebook, the core rulebook does have an elixir of life, and it is 6 in the core rulebook. So I don't know why it went from 6 to 12 from the core to the APG, but
Yeah.
there you go.
Because they did like they reworked alchemy into the APG.
Yeah, maybe, but you think they would have changed the
Oh, yeah.
VTT? Because this is new. This is the updated version. So I guess maybe they have an errata on it. Okay.
I think the elixir is actually the only thing that changed price.
Mhm.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So the group is going to meet, and Bo is going to discuss what he learned from Lord Mindol. Master Emilio and Learmay had no luck with the Ogre Murmur for some uncertain reason. What does the group think about the two options? Bo's options to meet, contact first thing in the morning, or Mayor Nightpitch's request to deal with the tower issue.
Well,
Tower is in the forest.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
We should at least find out what Bo's contact is asking for
Okay.
or about.
Yeah, then we can take it from there.
All right.
Yeah, make an informed decision.
So you're going to meet Bo's contact at the Fern first thing in the morning.
Yep.
All right. Let's take a 5-minute break. I can go pee. And
Gene,
yeah.
is the week going to be enough for me to make something with the blacksmithing?
Yeah, that's why I asked. Like, I figure this is like
Okay.
at the end of the week. You know, you kind of.
No, I know. I need to make a roll to see if I
Sure.
actually succeed.
Yeah, you
So
can do
that's
that.
why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can make a roll and
Um,
see if it's successful.
Hope it succeeds. Otherwise,
Oh,
that's really
by
barely,
one.
but it does.
What did you make?
Double chainmail because I realized
Ah.
these guys might drag me into dangerous situations, and my blacksmith light armor is not gonna probably not gonna cut it.
All right.
You might want to make that into a plate. You might want to try to get plate.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you got like 5 healing potions. What
Double
could go
chainmail is
wrong?
reinforced, flexible, medium armor, and eventually I will pick up, some kind of ordo spell. So the reason I didn't go plate is because, like, the impeding
Impeding.
penalty is so big it makes it hard to do anything cast wise.
All right, 5 minutes.
Mhm.
All right. Okay,
That's so weird.
so it's early morning. On the 15th of Saralila, winter. It's cold as you kind of shuffle down Yanetter's Road. The Fern is roughly here. Hanging.
Oh, Gene, by the way, sorry. I think Emilio's right. It occurs to me I don't need to worry about the casting penalties because I don't have any powers. So I'm
Huh.
going to go with Panzer Field Plate of the Panzers instead.
Okay.
And when I pick up powers, I'll just downgrade it if I think I need to.
Okay. So the Fern is about here in this kind of northwest, block of Yanetter's Road. And it's in the center block of this kind of Yanetter's Road and West Promenade. And it's kind of this 3-story block building. And there's, the Fern Tavern or the Fern kind of hostel is just in that first floor as you come in. You enter the kind of first floor where the Fern Tavern is, and it's just big enough to house maybe 6 giant kind of round tables. But, there's only a couple people in there in the morning having breakfast. It's not very full, obviously, because it is a tavern. And the internal decorations kind of plain, and there's not really much that stands out except that each table have kind of these bronze candlesticks on them, single candlestick holders that have these forms of like meandering snakes the candlesticks, and the candles fit in the maw of the kind of stake, and the front door is kind of ajar, and if you look through that kind of crack before you enter the Fern Tavern, you can see there's like a lone figure sitting at one of the tables at the far back that's illuminated by a kind of flickering candle. She looks a woman in about her 30s. She kind of has brown hair that's a little disheveled, and she's wearing like a simple kind of bone white tunic, which she has thrown her kind of coat over one of the other chairs, a dark brown cloak. And she's kind of hasn't seen you come in, and she's just picking her nails with a small, like carving knife. What do the company do? Or who approaches?
Yeah, I think I'll approach.
Yeah, we look at Bo and go, "This is your chance to to shine."
Bo, she kind of looks up as you come up and squints her eyes a little bit. She's probably in her mid-30s, give or take.
And I would introduce myself in the company. I'd probably just say, "And this is my company."
Ah, yes. Did you answer my message then?
We've come to see what assistance you need.
Ah, well, she kind of looks around. Degoy, make a vigilant test. Well, I
move closer. Like, does she start whispering?
No. Degoy, you don't notice anything. Bo, you're kind of close. You can see there's a little bit of sweat on her brow. She looks a little bit nervous, like she flicks her knife closed and sticks it in her pocket. And she goes, "Well, the job I need done is highly dangerous and related to the darkness at Davokar. Have you all been in Davokar? Hopefully."
We have.
Oh, and so you've witnessed the darkness that can come out of it?
Oh, most certainly.
Oh, yes. Then you know how much dire and haste I must need. Then I don't know if 5 days will be enough, but
maybe share what you have for us to do, and we'll assess the situation.
Well, what I can offer anything really in payment. What would you accept? It's terribly dangerous, and if you don't succeed, hundreds may die within Thistle Hold. But name your price. Name your price, man. What would you accept for a dangerous deed of this nature? Related
Did you just say hundreds of people would die?
Well, yes, that's what I said. What would you ask for a fee for saving hundreds of people alive in Thistle Hold?
I look over my shoulder at the rest of the group. Like,
Come now, man. Come now. Name your price. I can offer most anything. A house. What would you like?
So Amelia kind of sides up to Bo and kind of tells him what the ogre told him.
Oh, you mean price-wise?
Yeah.
You don't mean a piece, do you?
Oh, that's for you to decide.
Oh, do you not remember how much money we got for fighting in the arena? I don't think Emilio appreciated how expensive fighters can be. They're being paid to risk their lives.
I think a reasonable fee would be 200 apiece.
200 apiece? That's it? What about you, Ordo, man? 200 apiece? 200 is fine for you?
No, he just speaks for himself.
What, are you going to speak up then?
Well, what would you name your price, Ordo? We would despite
What does this mission entail? First of all,
She just kind of like,
money is useless if we're all dead.
well, that is the point. But what would you accept as his fee for such a dangerous thing? He says 200 thaler. You there, tall man with a mask. She looks at Lirime. Name your price for such a dangerous deed to deal with darkness from Davokar that threatens Thistle Hold.
Sponging the darkness is always some reward, but finding people to do it is personally expensive.
So you would do it for Prios alone? That would be a good man.
I would, but Prios needs to be paid.
Prios is paid by light. And prayers. Is that not enough?
The light glinting of shiny thaler.
And how much would Prios accept?
What's his name? Murmur was saying they were getting 250 for their arena match. Well, what has she actually said she wants us to do? Does she want us to go deal with the Winter Wife, or has she not said yet?
She hasn't shared.
She hasn't said it.
She might just want us to go kill Corinthia for all that money.
You guys, she's not answering your direct question, and you aren't, except for Bo. He wanted 200 thaler, which seems reasonable. He offers all of you 200 thaler. The Goy is 200 thaler enough? What would you get? What would you want? Name your price.
What's the mission?
Well, I come with a very highly trained and specialized archer, so I think 250 for each for the two of us is good.
Yes, we could do that. I think so. She looks at Laris. Laris, are you wearing your new armor, or you're
I am.
Huh? You look all shiny and new.
Yes.
Yeah. The woman looks at you and says, you must be the captain then.
Yes,
What price would you have for this team of yours?
And your darkness be burned.
All darkness can be burned?
As long as we can burn it out. If my team is willing, 250 for each of us.
250 thaler. She kind of stands up and, wipes her head and says, wow, we should be able to do that.
What's the mission? Emilio kind of steps forward.
And I look at us and I go,
demands to know what the mission is.
Again, 250 for each of us, and there are 6 of us.
1, 2, yes, you are correct. Did you think she miscounted?
I wasn't sure she was counting Ferris.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's actually 6 of you, not counting Ferris.
Oh, are there?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll say 7. Sorry, I'll say 7. If she's wise enough to argue against paying fares, I'm not gonna push it too hard. But if she doesn't catch on, I'm glad it takes an extra 250.
Emilio started hopping around and waving his hands in the air and demanding to know what the mission is.
She's completely ignoring you. Going. She seems to be a little bit not distracted, but and not disorganized. I can't think of the word. Anyways, it's not like she's
Shovel?
Yeah. It's she's bouncing between each of you, trying to tell her what you want to pay, but she's not not purposely necessarily not answering Master Emilio's question. And she sits down. She goes, okay. Well, bring up some chairs then.
Are there other people?
No, there's 1 or 2, but they, they're kind of quietly eating their breakfast, and partway through this, they kind of get up and walk out of Fern's Tavern. So it's just kind of you seven, and her, and in Fern's Tavern, there's probably a small bar and a open room, that sort of thing.
It looks like Lena never healed herself.
Who's that?
That's Lena. I don't
Oh.
think she healed herself because she's still got.
No,
A
the
sliver of
bottom
red.
bar is corruption on everyone other than Degoy. Because Degoy, for some reason, has his health bar set up the other way around.
All right, so she starts to get in her chair, Master Emilio, and it looks like she's drawing you in to answer a question. And about that moment, you hear this clanging of a bell. Just throughout, and her head pops up, and she stands up really quick, and her chair falls over on the side, and you see this worried look, and she goes, "So the Western Gate bell is ringing. That hasn't been rung for 3 years." And you can hear like motion outside. They can't be here already. Certainly can't. And she looks at all you with this kind of worried look on the, "We must go to the Western Gate. See what the ring and the bell is. Perhaps they're already here and we're too late."
Who?
The elves.
Elves?
And she kind of stands up. She goes, hurry to the Western Gate."
I stand up. Laris draws his sword.
Draws your sword into Fern, and you go out the front door of the Fern, Laris.
I'm waiting for this woman because she's supposed to be paying us, and I do not want something to kill her in an attack.
Sure.
Because then we don't get paid. So
She gets up and starts heading out and tries to hurry out the front door. She opens the front door that lets the light in from early morning. You see all these people kind of rushing past the doorway, probably in the direction of the Western Gate, Laris, and she kind of steps out into this throng of people, and it's like, a wave is like carrying her towards the Western Gate. Laris, as you...
have I had time in the last week to get together with these people to teach them Beast Lore tricks so they get the benefit as well?
Sure, I would think so.
Okay. So I have Beast Lore, and anytime I activate it, you guys get to add an extra D4 against cultural beings. Now that I've taught you how to fight cultural beings.
Now, how long does that last? Just until it changes?
A scene.
A scene, okay.
It's a free action for me to use it.
Okay.
But I have to obviously, like, my initiative's crap, so it means for the first turn, nobody's going to get it. But then, in my first turn, if I'm available, it'll last for the whole scene. They don't get the bonus if I'm not available, or somebody's unavailable to give them the bonus.
Okay.
Despite me teaching them how to fight, apparently they forget immediately until I tell them, hey, remember that thing I taught you? They're like, oh, yeah, okay.
So Master Emilio, as she gets up, Laris draws a sword. He grabs you like by one shoulder and, almost starts dragging you out in the throng of people going to the Western Gate. Do you let her do that, or do you have her relinquish her hand from your...
She specifically grabs Emilio?
Yeah, you're short and small. She isn't grabbing one of them. Plus, you're standing there in her face asking her, so she grabs you like...
You're her human body shield.
No need to
Small enough
grab.
to pull around.
There's no need to grab. She he swats her hand away and just kind of follows everyone along.
All
Make
right.
sure she's in the front.
She hurries out into this throng of people that's, the bell is ringing on the Western Gate, and you see guardsmen and trying to push their way through the people that are also going there to see what the heck's going on. Master Emilio. Bo, as she gets up and the bell rings, and Laris draws his sword, what does Bo do?
I would be right directly behind her.
Okay. Does everyone follow then? Degoy, Lena, Lyra May?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
You don't let Amelia be kidnapped a second time this week.
All right. So once you're out on the street, you hear the clanking of boots, and you're just kind of carried along with this stream of people going towards the western gate of Thistle Hold. You get to the gate, and the gates are being closed. You see people like climbing buildings to kind of try to see over the palisade wall. You see Captain Marvallo kind of trying to order a growing number of town guards, but there's this kind of mass of people in front of you. What does the company do as you get, you got maybe 50 people in front of you, and Captain Marvallo is before the closed gates, and he's trying to get order of the town guards. There's other town guards trying to push up through the people to get to the gates. What does the company do as they see this mass of people?
Ferris is going to take his flaming sword and pound it to his shield to get everybody's attention to clear a way for him.
All right. That will work.
Yeah, we let the flaming suit of armor forge a path.
Okay.
He's not personally flaming quite yet, just his sword is.
Yeah, the noise itself would probably do it. The flaming servant can probably push his way through, and he's clanging his sword against his breastplate. Laris.
I'm just following him.
Okay. How about Dagoy and Lena?
Outside of drawing weapons and checking out what's coming on, not much.
Yeah, you just see the palisade wall, and the gates are closed. There's people climbing houses, and some people even trying to climb the palisade wall, but that doesn't really work too well. And Ferris kind of leads through, separating the crowd. You come like before the western gate, and Captain Marvallo is there with a growing number of guardsmen that he's trying to arrange into, some sort semblance of order. And then he just kind of yells out. His big voice just kind of yells out. He puts his hands to his cheeks to try to get himself heard, and he's calling for anyone who knows the barbarian tongue, or maybe an ordo, someone from the Sun Church, someone.
Emilio is too short to see over everyone, and
I direct Ferris to lead again, clear a path, and I just follow Ferris.
Sure. Master Emilio, you hear Captain Marvallo asking for a representative of the Ordo Magica.
all right. So Emilio will kind of shuffle to the front.
Shuffle to the front, make himself known.
Yeah.
Master Emilio, like Captain Marvallo, keeps yelling out, "Is there any Ordo here?
Emilio raises his.
Is there any Ordo here?
Stop shouting! I'm here.
Oh, I thought you were a boy. Sorry, Master, you're just... Well, I just didn't see your hand." Master Emilio's head's maybe as tall as the Ferris's shoulder.
And what is the problem, Captain?
Do you know the barbarian tongue, Master?
Yes, I do.
Oh, well, maybe you can come with me outside then, the gates, and your retinue.
Well, it depends what's outside the gates.
Well, there's witches.
Witches?
Barbarians, obviously, my friend.
Barbarians.
And you don't see witches here?
Say that again?
You don't see witches here?
No, not normally. Not on their monstrosities, Master.
Monstrosities? So Emilio's curiosity is piqued, so he just follows along.
All right. The rest of the group follows along with Master Emilio.
I do.
Okay.
Yep.
So you get out the gate. The company go out the gate with Marvallo. Marvallo probably has, 10, 15 guardsmen, because those are the only numbers that can get to the gate. You go through the gate, and the gates are closed behind you. Out in the distance, probably 200 yards, 200 meters outside the edge of the forest, you see two huge colossi. And riding atop the colossi that are just kind of stopped are two witches. One looks male and one looks female. And the Captain Marvello kind of looks behind them and looks down at Master Emilio and goes, "Sir, are you sure you can handle this?"
Well, I don't know what you want me to handle,
Well,
but I could talk to them.
all right then, let's go.
So
And-
Emilio follows along, make sure that Marvello's in the front.
Make sure Marvello's in the front. All right.
Kind of pushes them along.
Let me get one thing. So you move to the front, darn it, and I'm trying to find a picture of it. You move to the front. You see these two huge colossi, and atop these huge colossi is one male witch and one female witch, and you come to a stop, probably 20 yards or so. The guards kind of flank out behind you. The sun's just barely rising. It's maybe 10 in the morning. It's still cold. You can see your breath kind of foaming out of your mouth as you breathe. And the one of the male witches kind of stands tall on this huge colossi that's probably 20 feet or 9 meters high, and that's 27 feet, 8 meters high, right? And just yells down at you, at the group, which Marvello is in front, and asks, "Has the well spoken?" Captain Marvello kind of looks and squints his eyes and looks down at Master Emilio.
Emilio will
What did he
translate.
say? What did he say?
Emilio will translate as best he wants to know about some well.
What does that mean? Has the well open?
I don't know.
You guys are.
Emilio will call back out to the witches and ask, what are they talking about?
And the male witch looks over at the other one and nods and looks down at you and Master Emilio and says, "No answer is answer enough. The Holder fears that there's a potent source of corruption within Thistle Hold. I am Gadramon and request permission to enter the city."
So Emilio will just translate all of this or interpret all of this for Marvello.
Yeah, Marvello looks at you. He wants to do what?
He wants to come into the city.
With those?
I guess so.
But tell him we have to talk to the mayor first.
So Emilio will continue working as an interpreter.
Okay. So Master Marvello tells Master Emilio to tell the witches and their monstrosities to wait here, and we will send word back to them when we have talking to the mayor of the city whether they can enter.
Do they have an army? Do they have an army with them?
No, it's just them two. Just two colossi and two witches.
What's a colossus? Is it a giant?
It's like,
It's a massive mount,
yeah.
like
Yeah,
Like
huge,
an elephant?
bigger.
I will show you a picture if I can get one here. Oh, it's
Like a
blank.
They're like-
mammoth? Like a
That's
wood
what they're-
mammoth?
30 feet tall.
But they're kind of made out of plant material, I think.
Yeah, they're like wooden stone constructions. They kind of the ones in the book.
There's a
like-
witch on his colossi. Do you see it?
Let's see.
In the VTT?
So it's like a golem, basically. right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Made out of wood and, that sort of thing. That's what they look like. And so Captain Marvello looks at you, Master Emilio, and says, "Tell them to wait here, and we will return."
Okay, so he conveys the message.
All right. And Master Marvello looks at his guardsman and says, "We return to the city." And he kind of turns and he starts walking, looking over his shoulder. Master, Ordo Master, are they staying put?
Well, I guess so.
I guess so. So you return to the western gate, and the guardsmen move in, and Captain Marvello kind of moves into the western gate, and they promptly close the gate and throw the bars. He yells at a man to run to Night Home and get Mayor Nightpitch, and you see one of the guardsmen, hand over a sword and a shield and go clanking off down to Night Home to get Mayor Nightpitch. Master Marvello kind of looks at Bo and Lirame because he knows them and goes, "Have you ever seen such things?"
No,
I have not.
No.
but they look to be made of wood, so I imagine a good fireball would send the forest monsters up in smoke.
So you have not seen them out in Davakar then?
We have not.
Yeah, probably some sort of witch trickery that they can only bring out at rare times.
He looks.
Definitely an unnatural monster.
He looks at the Goy, which he knows is a Queen's man, and looks at the Goy and says, "Sir, have you heard anything of this, perhaps?"
No, this is a complete surprise.
You wait for a while, and then all of a sudden the ground starts to shake a little bit. You can kind of feel it in your feet, and then you hear it. At first it's just this kind of small sound, and then someone send me a message. You hear the clanging of the bell. It gets so loud that people start falling around you, clamping their hands around their ears, and scream out. And the sound of this bell, this kind of huge bell, comes from the center of more where Thistle Hold is. And I would like each of you make a strong test.
Oh, yay! As I fail, I'm gonna ask, yell at the witches, what are they doing?
As you fail. You
What?
succeeded. Everyone succeeds.
What?
Everyone but Ferris.
Yeah, thankfully he has a 17 strong. That really came in handy.
Wow, everyone passed that. Bo, Laris,
Apart from our
Master
strong
Mule,
person.
Liro, Lena, and the Goy. You all just stand there. All these people fall around. Some of them clap their hands on their ears. Some of them start bleeding from their nose. The only one that kind of shudders is Ferris, and he takes 1d4 of damage. Laris, you want me to roll it or you roll it?
You go ahead and roll it.
All right. And you see this huge plume of smoke rise to the east of the city. In the center, this kind of huge plume rises as the bell, this huge kind of sound of a bell kind of rings out from the center of the city. And then you just hear this dull roar of screams from the city itself. It's kind of like that low noise you would hear if you were in a train station or, subway, mass of people, making noise all at once. Captain Marvello kind of regains his feet because he didn't make his strong test, and he looks at you and goes, "By the light of Prios, what was that?"
No idea. What have these foul woodland bastards done?
Lear May, you think they cast a spell on the city?
Yeah. These witches appeared riding their unknowable beasts, and then an earthquake happened. 2 and 2 makes 8.
Master Captain Marvello kind of draws his sword and then starts heading in the direction where that big cloud is, and looks back at you, Lear May. "We should figure out what it is if they cast a spell on the city." And he just starts running through as the crowd is like pressing up against the palisade wall.
I turn the witches and just say, "We'll be back." After
Oh, you're
an
inside.
investigation."
They're still outside.
Oh.
You're inside the city. But you go investigate with Captain Marvello.
Sure, why not? Again,
Yeah,
trying to have the chick stand close if she's nearby.
Have who stand close?
Our money bags.
Yeah, you lost her because you went outside.
Damn it, money bags.
You all went outside, but she didn't go with you, and you have no idea where she is, Laris.
Meal ticket. Where have you gone?
I assume the party follows Lear May and Laris, or do you stay by the gate?
I mean, how good is the gate? Like, could they just like barrel it down?
No, it's
Cluster.
pretty thick. It's like double wall, double trunk trees with like a trunk of a tree that goes across the two gates. Like, it's a pretty big gate. Think of, a giant medieval, the palisade itself, the palisade wall itself is like 30 feet or, 10 meters high, essentially big chunks of trees that are driven in the ground that are standing upright and lashed all together. So the gate itself is that big.
So these
Amelia was
walking
looking.
siege towers could climb over it. Is what you're saying? No.
No, they couldn't climb over it. Like, they couldn't step over it. So, to go, you don't think they could break through the gate?
Okay. If it seems like they couldn't just break through on an easy kind of thing, then I'll follow.
Okay. Bo, do you do anything else? Follow the rest of the company, or?
Yes, I would.
Okay. So you start moving eastward against the throng of people who are moving westward. You go through the Queen Square and go through kind of small streets on the edge of the city towards Yonetter's Road, and you hit Yonetter's Road. I'll put you on a map so you can kind of see. Oops, wrong one.
Oh, the city looks very different.
You come through Yonetter's Road, and you have this mass of smoke as you're running down kind of Yonetter's Road as Marvello is running in front of you. There's a crowd of people, hundreds of people are just running against you. They got kind of open wounds and bleeding from their eyes and ears, probably from the sound of the bell itself. And you kind of entered this dust kind of filled air, and you see, residents of the city on the ground, and it looks like they're fighting through this kind of dust air. And also you see residents themselves fighting against other things in the streets as you get closer to that central area. You, from a distance, you kind of like see two younger people fighting against this kind of hulking monstrosity, and one of them is kind of caught and dragged away, and then you see the other one's like tackled to the ground by this beast that kind of has four legs that comes running out of the dust and kind of grabs them and pulls them back into the darkness. You see an Ambrian woman that's holding this broomstick and kind of beating away another beast, as perhaps her older mother is laying on the ground next to her. A man kind of comes staggering out of an alleyway behind the characters, and he's hit by these two other beasts and put on the ground as you're moving into this dust-laden area. What do you do as you see the citizens of Thistle Hold attacked by something coming out of the dust?
I summon the Buster Sword and triple slash all the creatures.
Beyond, like, Lirame will call out that Prios abhors the unclean.
What did you roll?
I tried to activate Holy Aura.
Oh, and it didn't work.
No, I rolled a 19.
I'm going to put you on the map here for a second. If I get the right. We're just going to use this map. Does anyone do anything in preparation as you are kind of entering this dust-laden area to figure out what's happened? And you see that the townsfolk of Thistle Hold are being attacked from something coming out of that dust.
Yeah, we
These
can.
things seem to be cultural beings.
Yeah, well, as far as you can tell, there are some that look more wolf-like but there are other that look men-like.
Okay, so I will use the beast lore ability for any of the targets that it would be applicable to.
Okay. I'm going to put...
So that's on myself and Master Amelia.
You put a shield on Master Emilio. I'm going to put... How long does it last again?
For the scene,
For the scene. Okay. That's what I thought. So the company's running down Yanetter's Road towards the center area. They're in these kind of small streets, making their way into, really it's hard to see because there's dust everywhere. Some buildings have kind of fallen over and collapsed all over the place. And you see these misshapen beings attacking the residents of Thistle Hold. Some look like they're more beast-like because they're on they're down on all four hands and feet. Some are standing upright. Others are really tall and look like things have been grafted onto them. They have an extra arm or other horns on top of their head. These are the kind of taller ones you see that have the horns on top. And you see skirmishes all around you. I'm going to put us in initiative, really, and let you all decide in which direction you would go. Or if you would stay together. That's a lot of dice. Anyone have any questions for me before we start?
No.
No. So,
Nope.
Lear, May, you, Bo, are kind of in front. Ferris and Lena and DeGoy are next to you. You're running through this crowd of people, knocking over some, maybe picking them up as you go through. A lot of them are bloody. They got dust all over their face. Most of them are bleeding from their ears. You can see that the buildings in front of you down to the north of Unetter's Way, some of them are collapsed. You see, women being attacked and men being dragged off into alleyways, and you see these things come out of the mist and dust, just attacking all of the residents of Thistle Hold as they're kind of yelling and screaming and running past you as you're running against that kind of tide. What do you do, Lear May? You see them to the north and the east and south.
I'm going to start off by trying to call on Prius's light again.
Okay.
There we go. So that's a D8 to any undead or abominations, and a D4 healing to anything that isn't undead or abomination.
Okay. They have to be full abomination, though, right?
Yes.
Right.
Heavily corrupted is not necessarily a full abomination.
Right. What was the last thing you said? If they weren't?
If they aren't, it's a D4 healing. So all of the citizens around us will be slightly bolstered, and Lyra's going to move forward, holding the sword menacingly as a beacon of the holy light, guiding these citizens to safety.
You cast, and it kind of pushes back that dust. People kind of wipe their face. Some of them that have cuts on their foreheads and their arms. Prios's light kind of washes over, and it kind of hits the dust particles and just scintillates, through that. Doesn't really push it out, but you can see it bounce around that dust and kind of light it off. And people pick themselves off the ground that have fallen as Prios's light washes out. Bo, what do you do?
I'm going to look for the nearest enemy and try to cast retribution.
Okay, so in front of you, maybe right down the street in this direction, Bo, once I can make my thing go, you see a man screaming for help. He's got this huge kind of misshapen bipedal man with looks like its head is a little bit bigger and got horns grafted to him, and a kind of cloaked figure standing over them, seemingly to give directions, and they're kind of dragging him off right in front of you. And so you retribution that one.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
So it's resolute against his resolute.
Cool. All right. So you cast a retribution as you're moving forward. Do you stay in position or do you close?
About how far away am I now?
You're probably within movement distance of the ones in front of you. All the ones around you are within movement distance. It's just a matter of which ones you might want to engage.
Yeah, I would move forward to that one.
Okay. So you cast retribution and kind of close that space as they're trying to drag this man. Yeah, drag this man out.
Yep.
Because it's slightly theater of the mindy thing. I want to clarify with Lyra's movement. He's not in contact with any of them.
Right.
But it's standing
in the middle of the street.
Yeah, ready to hit someone with their sword if they come into range of him.
Right, you're just waiting for him to come at you then.
Yeah, I use my action casting a spell.
Right.
I'm going to use the free actions to cut them down.
You hope that Prios's light calls them to you?
Yeah, the GM doesn't know my tricks.
Oh, right. He doesn't. I'm going to see if they are attracted to Prios flight. It's possible, Lear May, that like before you've just put a beacon on your forehead. Come get me. Laris, what do you have Ferris do? You
How
have
close are these guys?
they're within a movement distance. They're just not attacking you though. They're attacking
Okay.
groups of people around you. You hear screams for help. You know, in front of Bo is a man that's being dragged away. Up here is a woman with her
Right.
broomstick, and trying to defend her mother. And so it's that kind of scene where you're in the street, and you see, down this little bit down this street, you see that, and a little bit down this street are people being attacked and dragged. So they're
Right. So
close enough.
so these guys here, they're not likely to turn and rush me and Emilio right away.
No, they're
Okay, well then-
they're sort of engaged at the moment. That may change now that
Eris is going to come over here because that guy absolutely is closer than the other guys.
Okay.
And he can only block so many angles, so he's going to come over there. And he already had a sword drawn, so he's just going to whack-a-mole on this guy and be disappointed that I go so slowly I can't leadership tag him first. Does this target qualify as a cultural being or no?
um
I'm okay with
Beings
either answer. I
are-
just need to know whether to add the bonus or not.
right. I think they are. They're just
Humans, elves,
Bizarre.
and trolls.
right. They are. They're
cultural.
just misformed or malformed or changed culture beings. So I still think
Gotcha.
they count. I still think they
Okay,
count.
so he gets to add a D4. And he's going to try to whack-a-mole.
Well, that's a lot. All right. And he sets him on fire.
Yes, but apparently he didn't do enough damage to make the guy get him another hit, which is disappointing.
Nope. So Ferris engages. Lena, you're probably standing in the middle near Degoy. You have range on any of these figures all around you, down this alley, down that alley. It is hard to see. You got people running all over the place. It's half vision, Lyra May casting Prios's light is almost like turning on your regular high beams when you're in fog for a minute, so it flashes back on you a little bit. But your vision is a little bit obscured. What does Lena do?
Lena will target the two enemies below her
Okay.
and will use Hunter instinct.
Okay. Yeah, the only ones you probably can't target are the one near Ferris. You just can't see through them. There are other ones you pretty much have view on anyone, really. So you could target whichever two. They're kind of down side streets or against the wall. The only thing I would do is have a -2 modifier for the smoke and dust and throng of crowd trying to push past you.
But if they count as cultural beings, you get an extra D4 of damage.
Yeah.
That.
Okay. So you shoot your longbow through the crowd and dust at 1 south, Lena, and that flies off. So she gets an extra 1d4 for that hit, right?
Yep.
Okay. I would just look at me rolling against it. Lena, is that it for you, or you still have more?
I can still shoot one more arrow.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'm done.
Okay. And you attack the other one. So let me roll a d4 for that.
No, she included a D4 that time. I
Yeah.
Oh,
think.
did she?
Yeah, I
Okay.
already
Okay.
Yeah,
had.
So
But
you.
she attacked the same one she hit before because she's still using Hunter's Mark, which only resets when the thing is dead. So she must have shot the same one, I'm thinking.
No, she shot two different ones.
you
Or
can.
did she?
It's Hunter's Instinct, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not Mark.
Okay, Lena. So you shoot two arrows into them to the south. One really huge one with stuff growing out of him. Looks like even has like a horn growing out of the side of its neck. And another shorter one next to him that has, some sort of leather armor on, but it's hard to tell because it looks like it's grafted to their bodies directly. It's not like they're wearing it. It's like part of their skin. And they're really attacking them with like their hands and these long kind of claws. And you shoot both of them. I'm going to ask if Lear May's magic Prios light draws them to him. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lear May, roll me a d8.
How many want to eat your face? All of them.
Right.
Under Laramie.
Lear May, that light just blossoms out, kind of flashes back into your face, as it refracts off the dust, but it goes out into the space around you, and you just see them like they throw Thistle Hold residents against the wall, and their heads just kind of snap towards you, and you just see them rush at you. Some of them like gallop using their hands. Others just, make this kind of guttural scream as Prios's light flashes out, and they just kind of fall on top of you. All the ones around you, at least 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just crash against you and Bo.
Okay. I'm going to take my free attacks against them with the long property.
Sure. How many free attacks do you get?
Everything that enters melee with me triggers a free attack from the.
Wow.
So the two above you and the one below you. Lena, unfortunately, the ones you shoot, come right at you. Or you and Laris, really. All right. So, Laris, one of these misshapen men attack you as you're standing next to kind of Lena as she fires her arrow. They kind of just fall against you and Lena in the middle of the street. Wow. And
Nice.
and the tall one, Lena, this hulking form, kind of materializes with one of your arrows stuck in it, and it just raises both of its arms, and it just looks like there's encrusted rocks and metal or something in the end of its hands. Like they just look like misshapen pummeling instruments, and it just kind of slams down on top of you. And it just kind of beats you down to the ground, Lena. The Goy, you're standing behind her and you see all this happening, but you can't do anything about it yet. Bo is standing in front of Learme. Unfortunately, Bo, it's just a bad position you're in when Learme lets off Prios light. What is Bo thinking as these three things lumber at him out of the darkness?
Preparing.
Prepare.
Yeah.
Damn it, Learme.
I'm not. I don't have the shield on like Master Emilio.
Oh, okay. I can set it. I can put it on your form. We'll just make sure that it.
Okay.
That should
It
be.
came up on my sheet now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should
I
be.
think if you target yourself and whoever it is you want to cast it on, whenever you cast it in future, it should apply.
Okay.
One of them misses, and the other mystic, this kind of enshrouded form that hobbles up to you. It's got this huge form next to it. They kind of attack at the same time, and what is it going to do? No, not that one. No. Yep, I think he's just going to do this one. He just attacks at you with his clawed arms.
Now, which one is this? The one to the south?
Yeah, with retribution. Yeah, no, it's the one with retribution.
Oh, the one
Yeah.
southeast.
Yeah. Oh. You get hit. You don't get hit hard, Bo. It just kind of scrapes across your upper neck. Maybe that's exposed, or maybe your arm is exposed as you're kind of defending yourself. But immediately around that kind of ragged gash, your skin kind of blackens, and you feel that corruption that you felt before just kind of oozed into your body as the huge one behind just kind of thunders forward and attacks you with its huge kind of arms and hands and tries to pummel down on you.
Oh, ouch.
I'm
Well,
not
that's-
sure.
that-
Is the
Yeah, you rolled a 20 on defense.
I'm saying the armor.
Yeah,
the D4 plus 1.
No, they've got a weapon that ignores armor.
yeah,
Yeah, it says in the attack macro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it just pummels down on top of you. Probably be, that corrupting attack against your arm, takes you off balance a little bit, and it just kind of pummels your head with both of its, bones. Got these kind of bone edges growing out of its arms as it pummels down on top of you. And I think the only one we have left is to attack Ferris.
And the one to the southeast takes 1 damage
Okay,
from hitting me.
the one from Retribution.
Yeah.
I will put that in.
And it's not considered an abomination or undead.
No,
Okay.
they're just you're looking at them and they look like they were men at one point.
Yeah.
They are not yet thoroughly corrupt.
Right, and they're not like the misformed men that you met on the island either. Those look more bestial. These look like they're just been messed with. They got bones and stuff embedded in their body. Their been stretched out, like the one that attacked you, that ignored your armor, is like stretched out, got stuff growing out of their neck and arms and head, and these bony ridges on their overlong arms, and these kind of long claws that attack you. And that brings us to Master Emilio, safe there in the back.
Ah, yes, Master Vilio. So he takes a survey of the scene in horror and wonders what kind of terror the witches brought.
Ah,
But his mind immediately goes to the scene. He's gonna try to take control of one of the guardians.
okay. The big ones.
Yes, the big ones.
I think you could see them, Master Emilio.
Yes,
Ferris is next to you. Lena just got hit by one. You might not be able to see the one in front of Bo through everyone, through the crowd because you're short. But I'm sure you could see the one that's next to Lena or Ferris.
Oh no!
Oh no! Master Emilio, it fails. You can't control that one. You feel it fizzle out. Must be the witch's work right here. Completely is unaffected by your attempt. Do you stay in position there behind Ferris?
He's gonna stay. Could he? He's got one movement left, right? Could he take concentrated magic? Could he do that for his movement?
What is it? Remind me.
It's like
elixir.
Oh yeah, you could do that.
All right.
Yeah, you could take it. You could take an elixir.
Concentrated magic for the next one.
Okay. So you attempt to control a huge man-like beast that's misformed and fail, and you take your concentrated magic. The Goy, you're standing next to Laris, and Ferris is on one side. You see Learme at the front, cast Prios light, and Lena goes down. There's a huge beast behind it, and another misshapen humanoid near Laris. What does the Goy do?
The Goy sees the goddess go down and moves to strangle that big tall guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, you could probably move around or through, and end up, behind him somehow. I think it's in the street, so I think you would have movement around him, to try to get towards without, passing through melee, that sort of thing. It's chaos everywhere, so I think that's reasonable, Dagoy, to try.
And you said there's a D4 for the beast thing, right?
Yeah, for if you do extra damage.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Well, it had already been hit because Lena hit it. It's got an arrow in its side. You go around the side, and what happens? You just.
I figured you said it was really tall, right?
Yeah, it's probably 8 feet or whatever,
Right.
3
It's
meters.
got things coming out of it.
Right.
I figured the Goy comes around behind. He steps on something protruding to get up to the neck, and then wraps the ground around and just puts him down.
Rides him to the ground. He just falls over as he's trying to get to you. Got these bone arms. You can just see Lena laying on the ground near it, and it kind of falls over on its side as you're holding the garrote across its neck. Laris, you're in the middle next to Master Emilio. There's one down near Learme, but you got one right next to you. Lena is down on the ground close by you. Ferris is behind you. What does Laris do?
I'm going to shift a little bit to, center this creature on me.
Sure.
I'm going to leadership tag this guy, basically say something to the effect of, There, sweep the knees, stab the throat. But anybody that attacks this guy gets an extra D4.
Okay.
So let me. It actually has a thing I can touch. Okay, so we got that.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
that's it.
All right.
That
So
leader is an actual action. So
you're trying to draw this one's attention then away
I'm
from.
trying to just simply get. I'm not trying to draw its attention. I'm just trying to make sure that it can't make a move.
Okay.
Making sure that I'm more likely to be like if he decides to go after Emilio, that he might think to like try to go through me to get to him.
Okay. You're not actively trying to entice him then.
I mean, not. I'm not trying. Like I'm, not. Like I'm trying to keep him. Like I'll move around a lot so that if he looks in this direction, he's gonna see me, not Emilio. Whereas Lena, I know, has her own personal bodyguards, so like I'm hoping she'll be okay.
All right.
But yeah, like I'm trying to draw its attention. Sure.
All right. Roll persuasion. That's what I was asking. Are you trying to draw it away from Lena or not? It can't get through you anyways to Master Emilio.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and try to draw its attention.
Sure.
I think at some point I should have had a better persuasive and went with dominate so I could have it not go after me, but I'm silly like that.
Yeah, okay. So you shout orders to Ferris, kind of reposition yourself between one of them and Master Emilio, and that's your action.
Yep.
Where go to Lirame. Lirame, you have Lena on the ground near you, and one of the beasts on the ground. Bo is heavy pressed. What does Lirame do?
Well, everyone regains 3 points of toughness.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, let me give them all 3 points.
Yep. They're not abominations or...
No.
Does not apply. It literally says living, so any of the guys that are dead don't get to stand back up.
Right. So Lena
You
gets
heal
3.
the enemy.
Lena gets 3. The enemy gets 3.
What are you doing?
Hey,
it's the must.
That power's awesome.
Yeah.
Don't.
No, it's not. You're healing the enemy.
Yeah, the idea is to gang up on the enemy so they don't heal.
I took down 3 of them with my 3 actions. Really could have taken down 4 because I forgot that knocking a person over, like, that triggers a reaction. So I could have attacked it again.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do a reaction to a reaction.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works because sometimes that reaction might just be if you do it as an action.
Right.
The reaction says any trigger.
Maybe.
Anything that would trigger a reaction.
I know there's an errata on it, but I haven't really looked
yeah.
that deep on it. So what else does Lirame do?
I will double click on you and stab the one on the ground. So, yep, that's. Emilio, does that feel like enough damage to mitigate the healing?
Yeah, it should be good enough.
That's terrible. All right, so you strike the one that's down, like it starts to heal, and then you strike it again, Lirame. Do you do anything else as you're standing behind Bo? Glowing.
Yeah, glowing. Am I able to use my movement action to end up on this side of those ones, or do I just go next to Bo?
You could do that. they will attack you as you go through them. I'd let you do that if you wanted to. You're in the street, but you would essentially be moving through melee.
I'm not going to risk that because these
Okay.
things do corruption, and I don't like corruption.
And
You
some
could-
of them ignore armor, and you're not going to like that either.
You could stand
No.
next to. You can move forward and be engaged with these two. You know, this one and this one, or you could go south and be engaged by the lower two. And so you can be engaged with the upper two or lower two. It just depends on which way you want to move.
I'll go for the upper two.
Okay. So
Just because I feel like they are bigger threats to Bo's well-being.
All right. And Bo, Lyramay stands up and joins you in the street. What does Bo do?
I'm going to attack the sword, the guy that I have retribution.
Okay. All right. Does
You get to add another D4.
Oh, you want to roll it? You want me to roll it? 3. Okay. Does Bo do anything else?
No.
All right. And Ferris. I'm gonna.
Ferris, as instructed, is going to sweep the knees and stab the throat.
All right. You want to roll his burning damage too?
Sure. We'll do the burning first.
All right.
And then we're going to, let's see, our damage modifier, flaming. It's another damage modifier. Okay, so he's got base damage plus that, plus that. He's gonna swat the knees.
So he takes this huge beast out, Ferris. What would he do with his movement action?
Oh, well, I didn't think to instruct. I wasn't sure he was going to kill him that quickly, so I didn't think as to what to instruct him to do. So he's going to notice the new pending threats, and he's going to kind of basically plant himself there.
All right. Noted. Lena, you're been knocked to the ground, but you feel Lyramay's healing power come over you. You can make a quick test to see if you can stand up just using your movement action. Okay, so you stand up with your movement action. You're right next to one of these malformed humans that are dressed in patchwork clothes and have leather kind of sewn into the skin, their skin itself and flesh. What does Lena do as she stands up?
Lena will attack one of the enemy on the right side.
Okay. All right, so you shoot. Which one did you shoot? Oh, the one south of Bo? right? That one. Now, did her extra 1d...
Yes.
You're going to move?
Nope.
No.
No,
Uh,
I don't know. She was attacking the one to the south of Bo.
Right.
She didn't add her D4,
Okay.
and she needs to go back to where she was.
I put the d4 in. She's going to stay where she was then, right?
Right, because she had to use her.
Oh,
movement
to stand up. Right, to stand up. Okay. Yeah, she couldn't move. All right. Laris and Lena, roll me a 1d20. Lowest one wins.
What do we win, Gene?
You don't get attacked.
Hugs.
All right. Lena, it sees you rise. You know, you turn away from it, lay off your bow shots to try to help support Bo, and it attacks you as you do that and ignore it. Oh, just can't get through your armor, Lena. Luckily, it just scrapes down your armor and completely misses. Luckily, and the others close. One closes on Degoy, and the other one close on Master Emilio and Ferris. How do Degoy's first? And just completely misses Degoy. One obviously attacks Ferris. And misses. And Laris and Master Emilio roll a 1d20. Oh, so close, Master Emilio. So close.
That and he has to go through a lot of things to get to me. So
Well, it was between Ferris and Master Emilio, actually.
Oh.
Not be. I was just having.
yeah,
you
that
roll
would have
prepare.
made more sense.
Right. Master Emilio, this huge one just attacks you with his bone arms and just
Oof.
pummels you down to the ground. Your little form just kind of collapses next to it. Did I take him out by mistake? Yep. Sorry, I took you out of combat. I got to put you back in. Master Emilio. And then one attacks Lear May at the top. And Bo and Lear May roll a 1d20.
I'll get attacked.
You're
Just
getting
attacked.
okay.
Yeah.
He's got retribution. It's,
Oh, that's right.
why
Okay.
he-
All right. It misses, and then the other one that's south of you attacks Bo.
Yep.
They both miss.
They do not want to hit you. Really good defense as well.
Well, I have a good defense.
Yeah. Master Emilio, you're on the ground. You're probably bleeding from the side of the face as it pummels over your head. There's not much hair up there. Your glasses get knocked askew. What does Master Emilio do?
Master Emilio gasps in pain, and then he tries to gather his wits and take control of the great beast.
Okay.
So he's got a concentrated magic, so hopefully he won't fail.
And remind me what that does for you.
It basically gives him 2 rolls.
Oh, okay.
If one fails.
Gives you favor.
Yeah. Here we go.
Right. You just stay on the ground then.
He's got a move action, right? So he's gonna stand up.
Yeah, you can roll your quick test and see if you can stand up this round. Since you had an action, and he's prone. Not that it will matter too much, but all right. Yeah, you have to stand up next round. The goy.
Or you could just do what I do and lay on the ground and keep using your spells.
Right, play dead. Dagoy, you have one next to you. Lena is up. What do you do, Dagoy?
So Dagoy is gonna disengage from that guy, taking the chance to get hit to engage the one next to Lena.
Okay. I will roll that. Woo!
And he will attack the whatever this is,
Okay.
Beast Clan guy. Actually, yes, we will stun him.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I did. Oh, you targeted the wrong one. Let me take off the damage.
That's weird. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have the one in the center target.
So, yeah, I don't know why I did that. Let me just take off and put the damage on the prone on the other side. So he's prone and he takes 8. All right.
And he's bleeding, which will take effect next round.
Okay. And I imagine that's it for Dagoy.
Yep, that's it for me.
All right, Laris, you're kind of stuck. Master Emilio's on the ground next to you, bleeding. Ferris is, on the other side. What does Laris do? Dagoy is knocked down one of the bestial kind of warriors in front of you, and Lena.
Okay. I'm not paying massively close attention to Emilio, but I hear him, doing some kind of mystic thing. Can I sense that he bent will on this guy? Or does he not exhibit any signs that he got? Because I know Master Emilio does that. I've seen him do it. And as an Ordo guy.
I think you're Ordo. I think there's going to be some sort of
Okay. Well,
speech or verbal component to doing that. So I think it's reasonable that you being Ordo that you would be familiar with that.
Okay, so I'm currently going to disregard that guy's existence for the moment, and I'm going to leader tag the guy that Ferris is overlapping a little bit.
Okay.
With instructions, like in general, go for its throat, go for its whatever, like things that if anybody else also wanted to shoot him or whatever, they'd also get the D4.
Okay. And do you stay in your present position?
Yeah, because I feel like, my current position is advantageous for fighting this guy,
Sure.
but I don't have an attack to give. I'm more inclined to give Ferris and whoever wants to take the direction.
Okay.
And that's
Lear,
but I'm
go ahead.
not going to let the guy get a free action for moving in a less good place.
He's prone, so you could move. The one
I'm fine
next
where
to you.
I'm at.
Okay. Lear May, you're standing next to Bo. Bo's got 2, you're kind of moving back and forth, you and Bo, against these 3 misshapen men. One is huge, got horns, and these bony ridge to his arm, Lear May. What does Lear May do?
I try and attack the big threatening one. I horribly miss, so go for the backswing.
That is a horrible miss. You should not even get a backswing with a 20.
I mean, I don't.
You miss swing. You just. That's terrible, Laramie. Terrible.
Yeah, that is awful
Hey,
for me.
you can't always kill 3 guys in a round. Just
Right.
chalk it up for bad luck and move on.
Do you do anything else, Laramie?
No, I don't even have any war paint to
Right.
try and fix that in the future.
Okay.
Yep.
Bo, you see Laramie, you just
Hold
hear.
on, wait. Did Laramie update your? Did you do your holy aura?
Oh, I did not do
Okay.
the Holy
Okay.
Aura. For the
I asked
round.
because it matters for Ferris a little bit, so I'm
there you
just
go.
wondering whether he gets.
We'll do that after Bo. So, Bo, you strike that one in front of you that seated you at corruption. Everything gets 1.
Hey, Ferris will take any one you give him. He doesn't care. He's not.
Everyone
greedy.
can get one toughness,
1 point of toughness.
1 point of toughness. Everything gets 1 point of toughness. So, do your character sheet as I check all the enemies. Okay.
You're welcome, everyone. 1.
Ferris. What does Ferris
Okay.
do?
He is going to, as instructed, this time he's simply going to stab in the throat, and then if the thing doubles over, he's going to get him in the gut, if necessary. Ferris does what Ferris is told. So he's got flaming, he's not at advantage, he's got an extra 2d4. Bada, his pockets are getting fatter. Wow. And the game has to calculate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and as expected, we stab in the throat, the guy doubles over, so he's going to get a jab in the gut.
Or when he. So I don't make him prone.
No, he's no
Yeah.
need, because Ferris was told, stab him in the throat, then get him in the gut, so he will do as he was told. Well, he will try anyway. The guy doubled over in a clumsy
Just
manner, caught Ferris off
misses him.
guard.
All right. Lena, you see Dagoy come to your aid, and the one in front of you drops kind of to its knees and is wobbling a little bit. What does Lena do?
Lena will move.
Okay. Yeah, she's kind of free because that one can't attack her while it's on the ground. Okay. So you kind of move and find a more secluded place, maybe up on a step on one of the houses or a concrete kind of planter, something, Lena, to get you out of the way. And what does she do is she finds vantage point.
And Lena will attack.
Whew. That's a good attack, though, Lena. Does she do anything else?
Yeah.
Another
Nothing.
D4
That's
gets
all
added.
for Lena's attack.
I'm sorry, I missed that, Lena. I rolled a d4.
Ah, that's all for Lena's attack.
Okay. Master Emilio, what would you have your guardian do?
I'm gonna have this beast attack this guy. Attack the next nearest.
The one in the south?
Yes.
Okay. I will roll that for you.
Remember that enthralled things have like a penalty on their abilities.
Yeah, it doesn't have any abilities. What, like which ones?
It doesn't get to use certain things.
Oh, right,
It can only make basic action basically
right.
until he's a master, and then he gets to do everything.
Okay, so Master Emilio, you just see it kind of take down that other attacking bestial man as you're kind of still there on your knees. And
I'm gonna have him move. I'm gonna have him move right over here.
He
okay.
can't.
Oh,
Unless you're master level, he can only do one action.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
He can
You're
he
correct.
can either
You're correct.
move or attack.
so this
Yeah,
one just
um,
stands. Go ahead, I'm listening, Laramie.
Yeah. You've got adept, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, yeah. Okay, so
Could-
it can't use active abilities or powers.
Right.
It's the limitation.
So that's I still have an action, right?
No,
You gotta
it was
control
its
it too.
it was its action, so I was asking you what it was having
Yeah.
it do on its turn. Your turn will
Right.
come up after theirs. I was just asking what you would have them do. Laramie,
Okay.
the one attacks you, the huge one you missed twice, and it misses. And then the other one attacks Bo.
We're just waving in the air at each other.
Uh-huh.
We just don't care.
And misses. And then there's just really one left to attack the Goy, because the other one can just stand. Oop, got more.
The one that stood takes 4 damage for bleeding.
Okay, let me look at his thing. Yeah, you just see him stand, the Goy, and then, he's just got this blacker kind of thick blood is just rolling out of its wound, and then it just topples over back to the ground from the bleeding wound. Which leads us to Master Emilio.
Master Emilio, what does he do? It looks like it's
Now he makes his bind will check, right?
yes. Okay, so he's gonna go get another guy then. Let's get the other beast.
By
Lear
Laramie.
May,
Okay.
You know,
You could see him through. He kind of towers over Laramie. The street's clearing a little bit. You hear shouts in the distance.
here we
And
go.
you can't do it, Master Emilio, while you're still kind of down there on your knees. Do you want to make a quick test and see if you could stand, or you want
Oh
to stay
yes,
there?
I gotta stand first.
Oh, you don't have to stand first, but you just are still down if you don't make your quick test, which,
Let me make a quick test. So get up.
yeah, it could be bad. No.
Of course, he slips. He slips and falls again.
Slips back down. It's probably that blood that was coming out of your skull when you were hit down the first time. The Goy, you turn around and I gotta take that off. You have one on your flank as the other one kind of falls over. What does the Goy do?
Well, yeah, I don't like this guy rolling up on me like that, so we're gonna try to put him down.
You left him there. Then
Yeah, but he's
Learme,
supposed to know that he's supposed to stay still till I get ready to attack him.
wow.
You guys do a lot of damage.
The
Yeah,
Goy.
it helps when you shift your dagger from one hand to the other and stab him in the gut.
You
We
take,
have been buffed like 9 ways to Sunday as well.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, that extra D4 is helping out a lot.
right at 10 damage. You wouldn't have put him down without the extra D4. He had still been alive. The extra D4 helped out a lot for a lot of them. Laris, you're kind of standing there. You see Master Emilio's down. Do you move at all, Degoy? Oh, okay. Yeah, I
yeah.
let you move. That's fine. Laris, you see Master Emilio still on the ground next to you, kind of bleeding from his skull a little bit. Learme and Bo and Degoy look like they got things under control. You can see still people. They're trickling past you in the street now because the majority have kind of left, and you hear shouts from up forward. What does Laris do?
First, he's gonna tell Ferris, cleave the knees, cleave the sternum,
Okay.
or anybody in general, and then he's gonna move. Let's see. I don't want to get in Master Emilio's way to standing up because he's having trouble. So we're gonna come over here, and we're gonna kind of tickle the big creature with my parrying dagger.
Yeah, I imagine you could like circumnavigate him in the street, and get kind of behind him, to kind of flank.
Yeah, well, I'm not good at melee, so I kind of need. If I'm gonna hit this guy ever, I kind of need to flank him. So
Okay. And I believe that's it for you then.
it is.
All right. Learme.
Let's try and hit this guy. Is what we're gonna do. There we go. And let's. Oh, and
9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, like you.
Yep.
You wouldn't have killed him either without the extra D4. So you put that one down.
Oh.
Learme.
in which case, before you get rid of him,
Go ahead. What were you gonna do?
that extra D4 might matter. Is that guy still alive with 2 extra points of toughness?
No, because I think you did 12. Oh, you did 12. Yeah, he probably would
12.
be. He would be alive still.
Yep.
Just
Okay, then I am
barely.
still engaged. That
All
guy.
right. Okay. Is that it for Learme?
Yes, because this guy's still here, so I'm not moving.
Bo, Degoy kind of circles around and kind of pins the one between you and him, so you have advantage. What does Bo do?
So instead of casting retribution on him, I'll just do a standard attack.
Okay.
And I have advantage.
Yeah, you have advantage because he's flanked by. All right. Does Bo do anything else?
I do not.
Ferris, and then it'd be Lena. What does?
As instructed, Ferris sweeps
Attacks
at
the
the
one.
knees.
Okay.
Yeah, he rakes the guys with his. He rakes at his knees, as he was told to do. And then he cleaves him in the sternum because he doesn't
17.
cure. Instead, he was told go for the sternum.
So Ferris takes that one out, kind of crashes right next to Master Emilio, who's still down on the ground, trying to get up. Has this huge thing kind of crash down next to him. Does Ferris do anything else?
Yeah, even though he wasn't told to, he still sees what he thinks are human, and
Sure.
in this case, human or bad. So he'll come over and, get in the thick of things.
Okay. Lena. What do you do, Lena?
Lena will attack the one beside Laramie.
Okay. Maybe sure save you, Laramie.
By the way, Lena will attack two different
Sure.
enemies
Okay.
using the topic.
Okay. Laramie, you're standing there as a arrow comes flicking past your hair and ear. You can feel the air movement and just kind of embeds in the monstrosity's chest, and it just kind of teeters backwards and falls to the ground.
Hmm. I'm completely happy with that. And this is clearly Prios comforting, like, just going like, doesn't matter that I'm healing them, I'm also killing them.
And the last combatant, 1 to 2 is Bow, 3 to 4 is the Flaming Servant, and 5 to 6 is the Goy. 3, Flaming Servant. Woo!
I'm gonna have to buff out that scratch now. Damn it!
All right. Master Emilio, you're kind of on the ground there. You could see Laris across from the hulking form that lands beside you. You see Bo and Ferris, the Flaming Servant, and Dagoy, kind of the last enemy, a short distance away. What does Master Emilio do?
Master Milo tries to stand up, first of all.
Okay.
I love that they're attacking with bone arts and crafts.
And it can't stand up.
You can. You just have to use your full round action.
I think he'll just use his full round action.
Okay.
to
Master,
stand.
you kind of get to your feet, Master Emilio. Wipe the dirt and grime from your bleeding wound that you had on the head. The Goy, you're surrounded this kind of bestial warrior with the Flaming Servant and bow. What does the Goy do?
We'll see if we can put this thing down.
Nice.
Sure. I would hope so. Did that even account?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, Dagoy, you take out this last one, and the streets are still in mayhem, but it's clear you could hear the shouts of Captain Marvello in the distance as this last kind of assailant drops to the ground. Laris, what do you do as the last one falls?
I'm going to, and I should have started this, but I'm going to basically study them for beast lore purposes.
Okay.
Yeah, try to figure out, apparently, though I didn't feel it, I will gather from the reaction of other people that they corrupt, and obviously their bigger friends just hit really hard. Armor be damned. So I'm going to look through and see if they have any markings, anything else that might be informative.
You know, the big ones, you know, it looks like they're just grafted, you know, like bones have been grafted on them. Stone and metal are grafted on them. You even see like wounds that look like they are partially closed or knitted. You perhaps touch one a little bit too close and realize that their blood burns. Like you have to wipe it off on your clothes when you're inspecting them and realize that their blood is almost acidic. And when you inspect the big ones, the smaller ones that aren't changed in that fashion, you can't really tell too much of a difference from them. They all fight with clawed hands that have these abnormally long claws on. You can't really tell the difference necessarily from the ones that, you know, attacked Bo and seeded him with corruption. They otherwise look relatively the same. Maybe those ones have, you know, black evidence of corruption and blackness and splotches on their skin, but you realize you'd have to be pretty close to them to notice that. You'd have to be in melee next time to know which ones could perhaps taint you with corruption vices the other ones, because they look relatively the same. They're all kind of misshapen. They're not in any particular style, or they haven't repeated things. Like they all look like they were cobbled together, you know, in a workshop of spare tools, really, or spare parts. And that's what you find when you kind of inspect them. Aside from the big ones and their kind of acidic blood and what looks like their self-healing nature, you feel like they used to be barbarians. You look at them and they have, you know, obvious barbarian clothes. You don't recognize necessarily, but the weave of it and what's left of the clothes that are grafted on them or, you know, patched on them are not Ambrian. That they look barbarian.
Do they have any barbarian tattoos on them? Something that might identify the clan that they could have belonged to?
No, not in the mass of whatever's left of their flesh.
Okay. Well, I'm just now taking a totally scholarly approach, trying to collect any information in case I want to write a treatise on this.
You haven't really seen this sort of thing before. You may know about flesh crafting, but that's a little bit more precise, a little bit more studied, you know, than this sort of thing. This looks like a mishmash of glop, you know, that stuff were stuck onto it, you know, like your 3-year-old with Play-Doh, you know, making a monster.
So the big Beast Clan Guardians, even though when they swung with heavy weapon, they don't actually have a real weapon. They just have...
Yes, their arms are all encrusted with extra bone, and you know, some of them just look like it's bone itself. They're like hardened almost and so rigid. Others have like bony edges, and it's just the whole heavy power of them, really. Okay.
I'll just continue until somebody forces me to deal with reality. I'm just gonna keep kind of like, you know, poking at them with my dagger, seeing if I can get any information out of it.
Lear, May, and Bo, you're up front. Laris is, you know, studying these creatures, or these what used to be men that are laying about you. You hear noise and shouts from in front of you, you know, up the streets. What does Lear, May, and Bo do?
Well, Lero will be carry on down the street after those shouts.
Okay.
Is this still the same scene?
Probably not. We're probably morphing into another scene, if you want to count combat as a scene by itself.
Yeah. No, I'm just checking for like purposes of Witch Handler.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that only lasts the scene.
Right. Okay. So you move forward towards the shouts. You can probably hear Captain Marvello's, you know, loud voice. You can't really tell what he's saying, but they obviously sound like orders to someone up in the murky distance. Bo, do you follow Learme or stay with Laris?
No, I follow him.
Okay. Bo and Learme, you go forward. Laris and Ferris kind of stay along these narrow streets, inspecting these bestial things. Master,
Once I see the rest of the group moving, I will, catch up to Ferris, and we'll both trot after them.
okay. I imagine Master Emilio, Degoy, and Lena, you follow too.
Yes.
Yeah. Gene, just not to break in, but
Sure.
kind of have my time limit, so.
Yeah. I was gonna
I'll
stop
go
here
long
soon,
off.
anyways. All right.
Okay.
You guys have a good week.
Yep. See you next week.
All right.
Next week.
See ya.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thanks, Leroy, for the healing.
Yeah. See you. Have a good week.
Yeah, everybody have a good week.
I'll just describe what you find at the front, and then we're kind of end it there. The group moves through this dusty smoke. The walls of buildings have collapsed. There's wounded people of Thistle Hold being drugged or carried out. You see other bodies of these kind of bestial men or changed barbarians or some sort of thing. You kind of come out of this street, and then it just ends. And you see this huge sinkhole in the middle of the block of the street. Captain Marvello is yelling orders to the guardsmen to take up position around the hole. And there are people yelling, looking down the hole, not certain if things are coming up or whatever those creatures were. Will they return? And Captain Marvello just kind of pushes the man to get in position around this kind of huge sinkhole that you see. The sinkhole itself is about 80 paces or so across and just goes down into the depths. You realize that the place that you were, the Fern Tavern, has disappeared. Like that was the block that kind of just got swallowed up, where you had just been with the woman asking for your assistance. And that whole block, Captain Marvello kind of sees Bo and Learme and yells at you to take up position around the edge of the sinkhole while they yell for one of the master mages from the Ordo and Templars from the Prios's church. And that's what you find as you kind of end at the end of the square. People are being kind of drug out away from the hole. They're trying to cordon it off, this giant sinkhole, and they just don't have enough men. And we're ended there.
Okay, Gene. I take somewhat umbrage at your ask for assistance. She offers us a job. There's money on the table. This isn't a give me a hand, guys. This is a take my money, guys.
She offered you a house too, but no one bid on that.
Well, we're just looking there going like, did she go down the hole? Is there money down there?
Right.
What's going on?
Did you just lose 1,000 thaler or 1,400 thaler? Oh.
Probably.
Wonder what the job was.
Right. Has anyone ever played this one?
I know
No.
the background, but I'm not
Okay.
using my knowledge.
Yeah, to be honest, it was a little. I don't really run modules all that much, so it was a little bit hard. I didn't know which way you were going to go. I tried to give you, as usual, a number of different choices. I don't know which one the party's eventually going to pick, and I did find a little bit difficulty stagging into the module a little bit. Hopefully, you all had fun.
Oh yeah. It
It's
seemed. I didn't pick up any difficulty segueing into it. There was the usual sort of.
I was tap
confusion
dancing the whole time, going, boy, they just run this module straight. The heck am I supposed to do with it? Like,
Yeah, no, there's the usual. Well, we've just finished our job. Now we need to go find another hook, like adventure hook, kind of.
Right, and I tried to
ambivalence,
give you
but, yeah.
I tried to give you options